momentarily. All right. We're live. Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to the one and only Copy That Whetstone Wednesday, the only copywriting critique live stream in the Western Hemisphere that takes place at this particular time and features these particular people.
And look, Rod and Sean are in the same room.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ. How the hell did that happen?
I should have started out of the room and then walked in and
Yeah.
Jump scare.
Oh my goodness, that was terrifying. You have a very scary aura. Did you know that?
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I will walk into the bathroom at night when my girlfriend's in there. She'll be like, "Oh my god," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I know, scary black man," and she'll be like, "Wow, that's not all I was going for." And then
that's not what I meant, but I'm glad you took it there. Oh god. So I'm going to put you in the driver's seat, but typical of Whetstone Wednesdays, we are going to look at actual real copy, spec pieces, and copy that people are writing, I guess, have put out into the world. And we are going to share our thoughts, our insights, what we've learned, what could help make it better, and generally provide feedback to help you get better. If you are interested in participating with your copy in one of these Whetstone Wednesdays, you have to be a Patreon member at patreon.com/thecopythatshow. And then in which case we will potentially review your copy whenever we have one of these. We haven't done one of these in a little bit because we launched a new product last month, but we're not doing that this month. So we're just going to review your copy and hang out and chill. So I have with me the lovely Rod. I have with me the lovely Lindsay. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that we need to talk about before we get into it?
I don't think so.
How is our audio, by the way? Are we coming through okay?
I think so.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Nobody.
You sound superb.
Oh, lovely. You sound superb too, goddammit. We have here. Let's just get right into it. We got a request through Patreon from Mr. John Cornelius. He would like us to review a few spec pieces that he produced, and we're going to do it on stream. There are these two right here. Let's zoom in a little bit so that everybody can see.
This is beautiful, by the way. The
setup. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Rod is commenting on here. I'm going to go a little meta at the moment. So I have, there's Rod right there. There's me. And then I have, this is what my computer looks like. So I have this wide monitor. I have the video here. I have the text that you can see on screen here. Then I have, this is Discord right here. And so that is what we're going to be using to actually discuss today.
Oh, I really appreciated seeing your tube lighting there. Now I know how you get that awesome purple glow.
Oh, yeah. So I have this sort of ethereal blue purple thing going on by doing that. And then I have another one back there.
Mm-hmm.
Bisexual lighting.
It's definitely bisexual lighting. I wonder if I'm trying to say anything about the world. Anyway, we're going to get canceled if we keep going on in this direction. Here, why don't you sit in the driver's seat, aka the Kyle Milligan seat, and I will sit there. Okay. Also, no smacking the desk.
I love this. Sean's house this is turning into a real late night show where you actually have guests in your studio. This is really fun.
Yeah. It's a casting couch kind of experience, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Inappropriate. We want this to be monetized.
Okay.
So we have, this is an email. Context. Dean Graziosi, well-known businessman, worked with the likes of Russell Brunson, Richard Branson, Tony Robbins. He's written a book for people who want to get out of the rat race and make money from anywhere in the world. Millionaire Success Secrets, I think is the name of the book. Okay. Reader is a solution-aware audience who feels like there is more to life and business and money and can help achieve that. Okay. Idea. Reader and most people understand money and success wrong, and this book will put reader in the know. Offer a free plus shipping book, which gives a handbook. Okay. So this links to a sales page, and this is the sales page. I love I just want to say, whoa, did you guys hear the lightning in the background? The lightning and thunder. So if we go completely black and we lose the signal, it is because Baltimore was struck by a super hurricane. Just really quick, John, thank you so much for putting all this context. This is so incredibly helpful.
It's already A+ copy.
Alex sends his love. He can't make it today. Yeah, just this is so incredibly helpful. And seriously, if you submit copy like this as a spec piece, they're going to appreciate it. So this is the free plus shipping book offer. Get your free hardcover book, A Million Success Habits. I thought it was Million Success Secrets. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Very bullet driven landing page. Goes straight into social proof. This is a sort of standard format for book promo, et cetera, et cetera. Goes through more social proof. And for anybody watching right now, book promos really rely on basically 2 things. Well, 3 things. The idea, the social proof, that is testimonials, and bullets. Like, can you fascinate a reader? So you have to think, okay, you are, when you're writing an email, trying to drive traffic to this page that is primarily existing to build intrigue, enough intrigue so that people get the book. For example, escaped debt. Learn how I escaped over $60,000 in debt so you can escape house payments, student loans, and anything in between. Presumably, when you read this book, you're going to learn this. The hope is that with enough of these types of bullets, you're going to be able to intrigue a person enough to want to buy the book because you're presenting all the fascinating stuff that people want. Keep in mind, though, that we're not actually giving the mechanism. We're not revealing anything about how he does it. We're trying to allure and entice people to want to learn this kind of thing. So let's get into the email. Lindsay, did you have anything you wanted to add before we move on?
Nope. Sounds good.
Rod, you were about to say something?
No.
Okay. Headline: These 6 shout buy for this book. Hi, name. Many highly self-motivated people believe most books on money and success are helpful. Gesundheit. This is wrong. They are being misled. My new book proves that, and 6 other well-known, highly successful, and wealthy people agree. I spent a lot of time discovering what the real culprit is. Other books on the subject lack clarity on what actionable steps to take. I'm going to stop right here. Where are we going a little bit awry right out of the gate?
It's too much about the book.
Yeah.
You're not selling them on the book. I think one really important thing to remember is that at the point in which, like, when you're in someone's inbox, it's not about telling them, hey, buy the book, because that's what the next page is designed to do. But also, even when you're on the book page, it's not about the book as much as the information in the book, the sort of outcomes you'll get as a result of reading the book, the things you glean, the insights, the intrigue, the mystery. And so books are boring as hell. And so when you're selling books and things like books, you need to distance your sort of like sales rhetoric as much from the book as possible.
Maybe not as much as possible. I can imagine a more direct email still working, but at the same time, most of the emails that you would want to write for this, if the job of this is to build intrigue for the book, this is not about like, hey, here's why, this book is going to work. It's like, hey, here's just enough information to allure you to want to buy the book.
Okay.
And so the email then, what is the job of the email? It's just to provide enough information to get you to click to learn more about the book.
Okay. How about this? I think a book is 2 things. One, a book is a literal physical object that you have, and very few people want a physical book. The other thing a book is a vessel that contains any amount of knowledge. I think that is much more intriguing. And so the book in its capacity as the thing that contains all the things that these people need to know if they want all of their outcomes that they want to have.
Yeah.
I think that's much more interesting. And so when you write things like buy this book, that's not intriguing, because it's like buy this physical object. I think the word buy conjures up that physicality in a way that's like, that's not sexy.
Yeah. And you were trying to convince people to buy a book in this email instead of trying to convince people to click.
Mm-hmm.
to learn more about some value proposition, which happens to be contained in a book, right?
Yeah. Listen, with any book that you're trying to sell, you're trying to sell them on the idea that they can be anything. They just need to take a look. It's in the book, Reading Rainbow. And so really what you're selling here is not, what self-motivated people believe.
Mhm.
You're not just trying to sell against alternatives, other books that are misleading. You're trying to build fascination to learn more about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so more interesting than these 6 shout by for the book, more interesting might be to go down, find a case study like this one, Simple Master Pete Dean's book, Saturated with Universal Truth, focuses on actionable techniques. Find out why this person named Hutch, or find out why Hutch, calls this, and then, come up with some quote from the testimonial. And then, okay, that's weird. You like, it's a little like, why do I care about that person? But also like, it's a little intriguing. There's a lack of information that you might want to find out about. And also you can start to like, just tease a little bit more about what's going on the actual page and make it more aspirational. Find out the tool rather than calling it the book that these people are using to learn the truth about money. Find out the tool that people are employing to build up their money skills and construct success the right way. And now all of a sudden, people go to the page, they discover the tool is the book.
Yeah. I think that's what I was trying to get at, because you like the line, the book has announced the truth. No one cares that the book has announced it. They care that there is a truth that they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so just it's unnecessary. I think it distracts from the strength of the actual proposition.
Yeah. Lindsay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just like I'm having some problems with the kernel of this email, what it's trying to say, which is that, like, if you scroll to the beginning, so it's like these 6 shout by for this book. That's just confusing. I think is there a missing word in there?
No.
These 6 shout by.
I think he was thinking that 6 would be like a stand-in for 6 people.
Yeah, I find that confusing. As somebody who has zero context, I just personally find that subject line very confusing. And then it's like, many highly self-motivated people believe most books on money and success are helpful. This is wrong. They're being misled. So they're highly self-motivated people who personally believe that certain books are helpful, but this is wrong. They're being misled. And my new book says that other highly successful people agree that they're wrong. Like, this is just very confusing, first of all. I mean, like, you're trying to make a very blanket statement that self-motivated people who agree that these books are helpful are wrong, but other self-motivated people say that, they're right in being wrong. I like, that's so confusing. Are you guys picking up on that? Yeah.
I would say, if you're going to CUB, and I guess A is the new thing, CUBA. So it's confusing, unbelievable, boring, and awkward.
Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuba, which for those who don't know what that is, it's just a mechanism for evaluating copy from a confusing, unbelievable, boring, and awkward perspective. You basically go through line by line and flag things that are all of those things. Yeah. Sorry.
So I would want to see a revision of this that really focuses on just like, okay, what is the core kernel, like the single thing that you're trying to focus on to try to entice a person to click?
Which I think what they're saying is, like, this person wants to say most books on money and success are terrible because they're all about theory and don't have any action steps, right? That's what this person is trying to say.
Yeah.
Which we can evaluate that idea from an intrigue, or like, to me, that lacks intrigue. But then they're also just trying to throw in credibility to that statement, but they don't use anything credible. They're just saying highly self-motivated people think this. and wealthy people think this, but there's no specificity there. It's just another like just random blanket statement. And so that's my big problem. Those are my big problems with the first few lines.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Somebody in the chat asks, what would be an example of awkward copy? I feel like this particular link is a good example of awkward copy. My new book proves that, and 6 other well-known, highly successful and wealthy people agree. So it's 3 compounded clauses all strung together in a single sentence that also features like elision. My new book proves that referring to this previous thing. Mm-hmm. So you have to be paying attention to the previous thing that was mentioned, weave that into this, but also then it's disrupted a little bit by the compounded other clause. 6 other well-known, highly successful and wealthy people agree. So that would be an example of copy that is awkward. So
yeah, so just one last thing to add, and this is relatively minor compared to the things we've said so far, but please put periods at the ends of your sentences.
Yeah.
I can take it or leave it.
I'm just at least consistency and punctuation goes a long way.
Nah. Just, you know what? It's like who's the dude? Feyerabend. Yeah, no consistency is necessary. Everything is just magic. And especially punctuation. I know this pains you. So this is the other email. Also, I believe for the same product. Yeah, it's for the same product. Mm-hmm. So same thing. Idea. This book is like no other. It brings clarity and actions to take and build a successful life. Same audience, solution aware. I feel like in general, focusing on a problem-aware audience is probably going to be a better approach.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because most people know that they don't have money. You know? In general.
Yeah.
But like most people, when it comes to the solutions that will work for them, I would say about 95% of them are thoroughly ignorant. And so in general, especially when talking about financial stuff, going a little bit more indirect tends to work a little bit better, unless that person is already like familiar with the business, buying from your business, things like that. Because then you can just be like, hey, this cool thing that you probably want is now on sale for 40% off. And usually that's enough to get people to buy. Like that works for renewals all the time. So, but your mileage may vary. So, all right, let's get into it. Rod or Lindsay, do you guys want to read this?
I got it. We've got this for you. Hey, everyone is talking about my new book and how it is helping them use money skills that can be cultivated at any age to grow their personal and business income. My businesses have done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and I own over $20 million in real estate. In that time, what I've realized is most money and success books leave readers empty-handed and confused about how to apply their rah-rah advice. In my book, I went into great detail about the one thing Richard Branson, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, and many other successful entrepreneurs all agree about when it comes to the real success formula. This book brings fresh clarity for people who are motivated to bring a better life for themselves. People like you. People who do not afford to doubt whether they will make it and do not have the luxury of folding their big dreams neatly under their bed, postponing them. Because you're already motivated, I agreed with the publishers of my book to make it free, and they'll cover the cost of distributing it to you through shipping fees. My publishers only print the book when you request a copy here. You will start to look at success and money in a completely new light that brings clarity and confidence. You can act faster with less doubt, stress, or confusion. That's what this book is all about. Dean. P.S. This is what Russell Brunson said about the book. You should get this book no matter what. I paid this guy $100K to be a part of his mastermind, and you can learn from him for just a few bucks.
Lindsay and Rod, I'll let you guys talk. I want to find something on my computer really quick to show the class.
Okay. Do you want to start, Lindsay?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. I love that quote from Russell Brunson. I don't know. I'm not, again, I don't know how aware this audience is. But that might be something that I would put a little higher. But okay, starting from the beginning, headline, we've got this for you. If like that just is not doing anything at all in terms of headline. You have to remember that people have lives. Everybody's super busy. They're coming at this email in the middle of lunch, their work break very quickly, a quick 5-minute break during the work hour. So like they are coming at this email at, completely unaware of what this actually is. And so I would revisit this headline. Do you have any thoughts on the headline, Rod?
Yeah, I don't have a huge issue with the idea of like a free gift headline, but in this case, it's so unspecific.
Yeah.
Can you specify who this is going out to, like the list?
Let's see. He said
There's also a comment we can highlight there. Here, let's actually.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sunshine made it that these people are on Dean's list and so possibly already know about the book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so if it's coming, and if it's coming from Dean, if it's coming from, the guy's name, Dean G, and then the subject line is, we've got this for you. Like still, even if you're assuming that these people are on his list and they know who he is, they know what he's about, you can still specify, like, what are you talking about here?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're already on his list, you can be way more direct about it.
Yeah.
Here's a free copy of my newest book.
Yeah. I mean, another thing with that too is if they're on his list and they know about the book, why haven't they bought it yet?
That's it.
And so you have to think like, okay, all right, there's obviously something that has stopped people from like either getting more information. Maybe they feel like they've been sold, what have you. But I was trying to find, and I could not find in my archives, it would take me a little bit of time to find it, was an actual, at Agora Financial, we had a contest, a company-wide contest to write an email selling James Altucher's new book, The Side Hustle Bible. And I came in second place. I actually missed first place by one order. And we sold, tens of thousands of dollars of this book, like just in a series over the course of this contest. I was so mad because Jimmy Parent beat me by one order. Grr! And he basically did the same thing I did. Here was my email. Subject line, hey, check out my new book. And then the body of the copy was just, hey, I wrote a new book. Do you want to check it out? I think it's my best one yet. Here's some things about it. And then I included 5 bullets, just copy pasted from the promo itself. And then, I hope you like it. Let me know. Signed, James. And that came in second place. That had the second most orders for this book. That's all you need.
That was going to be the next thing that I think this email needs is bullets. Like you're making a big to-do about the fact that your book is about specificity, but you're doing like no specific work in here at all, other than just talking like about, very big, grandiose claims. I remember when we were writing about like debt stuff for Mark Ford, Sean, and we were going through like Robert Kiyosaki's debt stuff. And he had coined like normal debt reduction and credit repair type strategies that you can find for free on the internet. He just like gave them a new name. Like rather than, do you remember there was like the debt snowball? Yeah. Like he called like the debt snowball. And, basically was the argument for like why you should pay off your highest interest debt first before some other moves. God, I can't remember. But like that should be priority number 1. And then once you pay that off, you lump together, the payments that you were making with your other savings, and then you apply it to your next debt with the next highest interest rate. I mean, it's like basic, like debt reduction strategies that he didn't invent that you can find on the internet, but then he just like gave it a name that was proprietary to him, right? And so if you are going to go out and knock all of these other authors for their lack of specific actionable steps, like do some work here with bullets, showing people the types of actions that you are going to teach people how to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Imagine an email, subject line, I finally cracked the code for building wealth in America or something like that. And it opens up, disruption like, after 12 years, I finally cracked it. And then like have some sort of like systematization that you give it a name. Like the problem that most people have and that most books on wealth have is that they teach blah, and that it could be anything as long as it's evocative, as long as it stirs the imagination and gets people's attention. The first thing that comes to mind is like the poverty mindset, but that's already been adopted by somebody else. But just coming up with like these lateral systematizations, these very clear metaphors and reframings of things that allow you to get somebody's attention and build intrigue for the thing that you're trying to ultimately get them to click towards. So that would be my feedback for this. And also like for a lot of these types of lifts, again, you're trying to sell people on the click. More interesting would be like, hey, find out, here's the book that has turned so many people into millionaires. Check out what Russell Brunson had to say about it. Thing. Right now, there's a special offer. Click here to see what it is. And then in parentheses, if you act on this in time, you might be able to get this book for free.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines.
I think too, one really important thing to keep in mind here is that if you are sending this to his existing list, so much of what you're doing at the top in terms of qualifying, everyone's talking about it. My businesses have done millions of dollars in sales. I have this much in real estate. People already know he's successful, and so you don't need to say that. If you do want that little bonus bump of credibility, I think it's fine to go in about Richard Branson and Russell Brunson, but like
Richard Brunson and Russell Branson.
Yeah, and Tony Robbins, like whoever, like there was one person who came up with these guys' stage names.
Yeah.
They sound all the same.
Yeah.
You could mention those people, but you don't need to sell people on why Dean G has got a good. Like they already know that's why they're here. So just cut to the chase.
Yeah. And like if you feel like the list is responsive or needs some additional push in terms of credibility, open with a story. Like I was down on the bathroom floor sobbing. I had lost all my money again. I couldn't believe that I had done this to my family, etc. And just, build an evocative story that leads to the solution that he discovered and why he felt it was necessary to put his solution into a book. There you go. That would build intrigue and also establish that credibility. That's one of the rare occasions where I would recommend actually using a story in a lift. So, John, do you feel like we have adequately discussed your lifts and that you have good feedback for revision?
Have we lifted up your lifts?
I fucking love you so much.
John, one final comment. Speak human. Like this line, people who do not afford to do doubt. I know there's a typo in here. I actually don't know what you want to say here. People who do not afford to do doubt whether they will make it and do not have the luxury of folding their big dreams neatly under their bed, postponing them. This is just a really common mistake a lot of beginner copywriters make, just trying to have like creative turns of phrases and like prefer to do that rather than just speaking directly. Are you someone who's motivated to build a better life for yourself? This book will show you how to do it. People who do not doubt. Like, how would you guys rewrite this one? This line.
I would not rewrite that line. I would just delete it and start over. I instead,
but
I want to give a piece of advice that I used to give my students when I taught them, and I want to defer it to you, everybody who's watching right now. Clarity leads to elegance. Elegance does not come before clarity. If you are clear in what you're trying to say, the elegance will be a natural byproduct of that. That's it.
Yeah. Another tip there is that it is usually better to just delete a line and rethink it than to try to rewrite something that's already there. If you rewriting this line is probably how you got to something really, really jumbled. Don't fix it if it's broken. Just get something new.
Yep. You can't polish a turd. It's still a turd.
Well, you can, but it'll still be a turd.
Yes. Yeah, true. And then everything that you're using to polish the turd will get also turdy. So there's a thing. So, John, go revise. Focus on clarity, concision, succinctness, context, and in general, thinking about specificity and being more intriguing. Keep in mind that you are just trying to get the click, and sometimes you don't really need to do a whole lot to do that. So bear in mind. All right.
He asked one last question there. If
you
want to pull it up.
So quick question. Could I have written this lift as someone who has read Dean's book rather than trying to write as Dean himself? And yes, the answer is absolutely. In fact, in the patreon.com/the Copy That Show Discord, actually, this is the free page. In Copy We Like, I actually recently posted a full sales letter that was from the perspective of a customer of Stansberry & Associates Research. Mm-hmm. And so here's the thing. You absolutely can, so long as you have the permission of the company and clearance to do so, you write as yourself. In fact, there were a number of promos published by Stansberry & Associates written by Mike Palmer. Mike Palmer was their head copywriter. The sign-off was the copywriter. Another example would be Blair Morse. He was the sign-off for one of the promos he wrote for Legacy Research Group, Palm Beach Research Group, way back. The copywriter can sometimes be a character, like the person who's delivering information. The copywriter doesn't always have to hide in the bushes like a creep, even though most copywriters are. That's just who they are. I mean, he snuck in here. I don't know how he got here. By the way, Lindsay, if you and the family ever want to come, we can definitely put you up.
I know you have 70 rooms in your house, so
yeah,
it's true. Actually, 70 rooms. Though.
I know. we could just show up and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You're always in your office, and you wouldn't see us because we'd be in one of the rooms next to the corner.
Exactly. We would have a room for each one of your kids and you and your husband.
Yes.
It'd be delightful. So this is after Rod posted on July 3rd that we were going to do one of these Whetstone Wednesdays. Breezy posted this.
Speedy dude.
Reposting this from last critique stream with the changes Lindsay mentioned. Email 2 and 3 would be awesome to have torn apart. So let's go to email 2 and email 3. If they click, they see this.
Let's quickly study this. Refresh everyone on the information in the front.
The first email.
Yeah, in the first email. I'll bring everyone up to speed. So people saw a Facebook ad promoting a free chiropractic wellness visit. They clicked the ad. They signed up for the visit on the landing page. They went to the office. They were in the office. They did an initial consultation. Okay, so now this is essentially Breezy's follow-up campaign to these people who already showed up, did a consult, but didn't book a package.
Did they go to the office?
They did. I think. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because this new email, this first email, I remember reading this first email.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's basically saying, thanks for coming in. The good news is your diagnosis is something we can definitely treat. We see these sorts of things all the time. Your custom tailored wellness plan awaits. You click the plan, you go to a page, you get, you basically see, okay, we think we can treat you in 5 sessions or whatever. So I went to a chiropractor that followed a visit like that. You basically do this initial consult And then they bring you back in a room and they try on the spot to upsell you to a package. And it's like very high pressure sales because you're in the room with them and they're like presenting the plan. And the whole goal, it's actually good from a sales perspective because the whole goal is to like book you then and there, put down 50% or whatever, and then you're locked in, right? And so the next page, if you scroll down, he actually, like, this is cool. I wondered about the technology that actually does, like, look at this. This is Bob's wellness plan. There's a diagnosis there. And they're saying, you know, in 5 short visits, 30 minutes, once per week, you're cured. 15 minutes, 3 times a week, plus we'll give you some at-home exercises. And then they give you the price with a neck rejuvenator device included. I would put a value there. What's the value of the neck rejuvenator device to make the value relative to anything?
I would put a value attached to all of these.
I was just going to say, you should put a value to all of this because you need to basically make it seem like you're getting a super high value for only, you know, a 50% off price of $375. I would put a value to all of it.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah. Okay. So I guess he wanted feedback on the next ones, but that just kind of brings everyone up to speed on where we are.
All right. So let's look at email 2.
Oops.
So it said they did not click the above link.
Okay. So that's got to make.
Yeah.
By the way, people watching, this is what's called an email sequence, where based upon the behavior, the if-then behavior of your customers, you then follow up with a sort of email that is custom tailored to that behavior. So, for example, in this particular case, somebody has come in. They did not buy a package. They've gone home. We have their email address. We send them email 1. Email 1 links to the thing that you just saw. If they either didn't open or opened and did not click that first email, then they get this email after some amount of time. So that's how that works sequentially.
Yeah. And I love the thinking that he's doing here because, you know, he's basically like the person came in and he's in each of these emails attempting to address an objection that these people must have had because they didn't buy ultimately. So that's what he's trying to do here.
The logic is good. I like it.
Yeah, logic is good. So email 2, subject line. 130 miles per hour into a tree and he couldn't walk until he found us. One of our patients, Craig, was a professional motorcycle racer and had a devastating accident.
Oh,
Luckily,
Rod, are you ready to be triggered?
No. Breezy, I thought you were better than this. And that's
why?
Worse.
Okay, you'll explain in just a second. Luckily, he found us before it was too late. Here's his story. At about 130 miles per hour, I came into a turn on a brand new motorcycle I had just bought last week. I wasn't 100% familiar with the bike, and the front forks had leaked forked fluid, which eats any organic material such as brake pads. This turned my brake pads into jelly. I went to grab my brakes and instantly realized I had none. I went smack right into a tree at 130 miles per hour.
Ow.
They said I took out 3 maple trees and flew 200 yards, flipped 3 times on the video, and paramedics took over 15 minutes to find me from the point of impact. That's how far I flew. My bike was completely unrecognizable. Before finding Best Chiro World, I'd spent over $30,000 seeing all sorts of doctors, specialists, other chiropractors, getting MRIs, and taking a slew of medications. This place not only provides world-class chiropractic care, but it has focused on overall increased quality of life with a holistic approach to doing so. Check out what others are saying. Cara D, the approach here is different and it works. Martin L, after visiting over half a dozen chiropractors, I've never seen one that compares to Dr. Smith and his team. Jeff S, I've been living with neck pain that was pretty dang severe. I guess I had normalized it and didn't realize what it was like waking up pain-free for almost a decade. Alexis R, Dr. Smith and his team.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Dr. Smith and his team actually educate and give back to the community with free events. Suzanne D, I'm in the best health I've ever been in now that I can run pain-free. Schedule your appointment today. P.S. We designed this plan specifically for you after the x-rays we took during your free wellness visit. View my custom tailored wellness plan.
Okay. I have a couple of really quick. Yes, this is a semi-regular stream. We try to do 1 to 2, sometimes more of these a month. I think we're going to start mixing this up on Wednesdays with like promo reviews, copy reviews, and things like that. In general, we're going to try to stream on Wednesdays if time permits, and we're not trying to launch something to sell you guys on some new product or course or something like that, so that I can buy a Lambo for my butler so that he can add it to his Lambo collection. That is obviously the only reason why we do this.
It ain't to get rich.
Exactly. So we do have a Discord. If you want to get notified about when these streams are going to go live, join our Discord. There should be a link in the description below, but you can definitely also find a link if you sign up to our email list at copythatshow.com. One of the reasons why Rod is here is that we're actually completely rejiggering the email sequence that we're going to be sending. So, yeah, we're going to be doing more of these unless we're hunting for that Lambo money.
Yes, more Lambos.
Yeah, and Lambos that we need to have like little Lambos that fit inside of our larger Lambos, so that like if we ever need to escape from our Lambo, we can just like hop into the smaller Lambo and go racing out the back. That's what you're supposed to do when you're rich, right?
Nesting Lambos, they call them.
All right. So first off, this is a long and fantastic story and a great testimonial.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want you to learn, okay, there are two things here. One, you can definitely condense this.
Oops, sorry. I pulled up our stream. Post a link.
A little bit. He's checking this stream on YouTube to make sure that we are actually communicating with people. You can condense this. If there's a bit of somebody's testimonial that doesn't work, you can use brackets, you can use ellipses, you can use other things to like get out the stuff that doesn't really fit. So ultimately, yeah, it's a little long. Condense it a little bit, but it's still very impactful, pun intended. So keep it. Now here's the thing: you jump immediately from this to check out what others are saying. Yeah. I feel like this was a misstep, because I don't want you to think in terms of show and, show, don't tell. I want you to think in your copy of show, then tell. This shows. It shows. Very good job. But then you need to tell people what to think. You need to have some sort of follow-up that sums up what people just read and what the takeaway should be. Really drive it home. Button the scene is, I think, a term from screenwriting. You want to make sure that the person clearly takes away from this particular story what you want them to take away. Don't just immediately jump to more testimonials. Now, the other thing that's going on very good in this email is that with different kinds of lists and different kind of emails, you sort of start to notice a pattern. And there's a pattern that I've noticed in emails I like to call the testimonial bomb. And a testimonial bomb email is structured very much like this. Here's the big difference. You show a lot of testimonials, as you do here, but you also have to express and show what people are supposed to take away and why this provides a reason for them to click onto the next thing. So this is a good spot for the CTA. And you can transition from that to, well, if that's not enough for you, he's not the only one. Check out what these other folks are saying. And then that gives you a reason to transition into these. And then schedule your appointment today. Here's the thing. Right now you're doing 2 CTAs. Are we scheduling an appointment today? Or are we checking out a custom tailored wellness plan? Mm-hmm. Which is it? And so ultimately you want at the end of this to have another sort of like, it goes without saying that we are so grateful to be serving people as well as we have. You recently came in for a visit, and we're hoping that we are going to be able to serve you as well as we have others in the past. If you're interested in what we have planned, check out this custom tailored wellness plan that we've made just for you. Once you click the link, you'll actually see exactly what we would recommend you doing so that you know exactly what to expect, when you schedule an appointment with us next time. Something along those lines would be, I think, a powerful CTA, a powerful way to button this email. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we scroll up a little bit. Here's a story. One thing you did that was interesting to me that I think works here, but I wonder how if it might be worth rejiggering a little bit, is you tell this really good story going into my bike was completely unrecognizable, and then you say before finding best Chiro World, I spent over $30,000 doing XYZ.
Yeah.
I feel like mentioning the clinic at that point breaks the immersion a little bit of the story, and I wonder if you instead say something along the lines of, I ended up spending over $30,000, blah, 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 blah. None of it worked until I found best Chiro World and the community of people, whatever. Just so like you don't accidentally kind of giving away. I get it, it's set up as a story, but I feel like if you leave the sort of product at the end of the story rather than like right before talking about this huge financial pain that people feel, it flows a little bit better.
Well, that's the thing. This is a quote.
Yeah.
So there are some compliance restrictions when it comes to testimonials.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut from a testimonial. You can reword things so long as it doesn't create a material difference in what is being said.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that with typically brackets. The other thing that you can do is you can modify a testimonial and rewrite it the way that you want, and then send it back to the person who gave the testimonial and get their permission and sign off on it. That's kosher too.
Yeah.
But in terms of like materially changing somebody's quoted testimonial, super illegal.
Was this a real testimonial?
Craig, is this a real testimonial?
I mean, I think for editing purposes, we have to assume it is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
By the way, if you ever are tempted to put in a fake testimonial, yeah, the FTC and other agencies around the world have so severely clamped down on that. We're talking like $53,000 fines per fake testimonial. It's nuts. So just don't do it.
It's not hard to not plagiarize or not embellish, not
or
lie.
Make stuff up. Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah.
There you go. But then how do we get testimonials? Our viewers ask. Survey your happy customers. And then like frame the questions so that they're open-ended and have them be like, if you were, here's a good survey question to send to a list. If you wanted to convince one of your friends to join this service or to do this thing, what would you say to them? And people really like get into it and give really good responses to that question. So if you're ever going to send out a survey to a customer list, use that question because they basically give you a testimonial. There you go. And you just use that. Bingo bango.
Yeah. There's a few testimonials in here that I would leave out. Like Cara D's quote isn't really doing much work for me. I would leave out the one about Dr. Smith and his team actually educate and give back to the community for free. And I would do that because if you scroll up a little bit, this is the main thing that I want to say, which is this. Before finding best Chiro World, I had spent over $30,000 seeing all sorts of doctors. This is the only number in here, and it actually like kind of price anchors some form of value of what this guy delivers. Like Dr. Smith, right, delivers the equivalent of $30,000 of like chiropractic care. And I think like Breezy, I think you need to do some more work if you scroll down a little bit, Sean, you need to do some more work around like the fact that Dr. Smith created what you're calling it a custom tailored wellness plan. But I don't think people realize like what's on the other side of that click. Like seeing your name that, it's like only 5 sessions and it's going to cost $375. Like I'm feeling like I'm getting $30,000. You need to make the reader feel like they're getting $30,000 worth of chiropractic care for $375.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you need that number is price anchored in my mind. That's how good this guy is. but I don't understand that he actually sat down, and maybe he didn't do this. Like, I understand there's an algorithm that's like pulling all of this stuff in, right? But like, I need to feel like the guy sat down and he wrote a custom tailored plan and he's going to fix me in 5 sessions for only $375. Yeah. That's kind of what this needs to feel like. And the wording, like, view my custom tailored wellness plan, to me, like, that doesn't feel, I know you're using the words custom tailored, but it just, like, it doesn't feel like that experience. You know what I mean? So I don't know what other wording you can
personalized.
Yeah. Like, do you guys feel that? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't feel like that.
Yeah. If somebody says that something is custom tailored to me, if it's not a suit, I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
But if something is personalized, if something is custom made just for me, you know, it's that additional, like, that compounded of like custom tailored, like, it loses me a little bit.
But even saying like, we designed, if it's like Dr. Smith and he's like, hey, Dr. Smith here, I sat down, I looked over all the notes and your x-rays, and this is what I have planned for you.
Yeah. I mean, even just a change of wording, view your custom wellness plan, as opposed to view my custom tailored wellness plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also some care language I think you can borrow here. When you go to the doctor, they're never talking about custom anything, even though everything they do is going to be customized to your specific situation. You know, try to remember the last time you went to the doctor and how did they speak to you? How would you have liked for them to speak to you? It should be comfy.
American healthcare doesn't allow that.
Yeah, exactly. That is the experience most people have with these places. So just the word custom tailored, I'm almost skeptical of it. You know, like, I almost find it unbelievable because like nothing is really custom. So I would challenge you to think about a new way to actually say that gets that idea across. In, like, I don't know. I was going to say you could do a screenshot of the plan, but there would be no way to do that. That would actually pull in somebody's information.
Well, there's an easy way to do that, which is what you do. You have the CTA, then you have a click, and then you have just do a screenshot of like the top of it. But instead of showing Bob's wellness plan, you just show, you'll see a page that looks kind of like this.
Okay.
And it doesn't, and it can be small enough, it can be blurry enough. And like, if it's blurry, people will want to click it to actually see what it is.
Yeah.
So you can always use a slightly blurry screenshot that people click on. We do this with video a lot, where like you'll have like a person holding a thing. Just think of a Mr. Beast thumbnail. You want the Mr. Beast thumbnail version of whatever this is inside your email. So
yeah, cool. Okay.
Should we talk about the third email, or should we move on?
Let's do the third email.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you scroll up a little bit, is there any extra added context? Okay. You want me to read it? Okay.
I will read it this time.
Go ahead.
Because we've each had a turn, right?
Yeah.
Email 3, subject line, discover the financial benefits of chiropractic care. I'm going to stop you right there. Oh, this is one of 2 subject lines. Or discover the truth behind the vicious cycle of medication they don't want you to know. I don't like either of these subject lines, to be honest with you. Lindsay, what do you think? Like, I love the verb discover. Super good.
I do too.
I love the idea. But financial benefits, too on the nose. Discover how a chiropractor can save you money, or discover how chiropractic care can save you thousands of dollars. That's intriguing to me. If somebody comes up to me and says, hey, Sean, I have some financial benefits for you, I would say, why are you in my house, and please put on some pants? So it doesn't really work for me. Discover the truth behind the vicious cycle of medication they don't want you to know.
That's doing no cost work.
Yeah. Doesn't really work.
Yeah. Discover the financial benefits of chiropractic care. That's just, it's not saying you're going to save money to me, which, you know, similar to the previous, like the Dean G emails, if we've already had these people in the office, they are already aware of us. They already, like, so we can just be we can be a lot more direct with them, right? Like Rod said, you don't have to like veil it. You don't have to like cover up costs in nice language like financial benefits. You can just come out and say you're going to save them a lot of money, so long as your value proposition's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look into and see whether the value proposition is correct.
Okay.
Medication, in scare quotes, can be an extremely expensive affliction, especially when it becomes a dependency. No period for you. And in some cases, it could. I actually don't mind it. Like, I'm not criticizing you. I'm needling him a little bit. That's what friends do. And in some cases,
Breezy's my friend because he's needling me right now with these periods.
The lack of periods. And
I'm just like, how does this even happen? There is not one like punctuation at the end of each line. Was this like a uploaded into Google Drive issue? That's what I feel like. It is triggering.
I don't know.
Anyway,
there's no colon either.
I know, exactly. Let's carry on. Okay, so you want to say you're selling against the alternative, right? Which is that medication. It like, okay, you could come in and spend $375 on chiropractic care, or you can spend the next decade of your life paying for medicating your symptoms. Which
really
is
quick. I want to emphasize something that we mentioned to John earlier in the stream, which is this sentence that I've highlighted is another good example of like trying to sound elegant, but sacrificing clarity.
100%.
Yeah.
So when we reach this stage, the realm of cost transcends financial affordability and enters the realm of the most profound toll.
What?
Please don't write that. Write like a human. Write like a more human person.
Well, see, it would sound better if he had a colon there that let you know that wasn't the end of the line. The end of
yes, it's the colon would fix it.
It would fix it.
Immediately understood.
Yeah. Personally, I'm more of a semicolon fan myself, but you know, whatever. The cost of one's health. So listen, like one tool that Lindsay and I were taught when we were coming up is called the FK score. And anybody can look up the FK score. If you don't have Microsoft Word, you can use the Hemingway editor. You can use a variety of other things. But what you want to do is you want to either get the FK score, get a readability score, and then break up your long paragraphs into shorter paragraphs. Break up your long sentences into shorter sentences and replace your long words with shorter words. Why? Because nobody on the internet wants to read your shit. Nobody. Nope, not a single person. There's a reason why you don't see a whole lot of like big block paragraphs in internet text. It's because it's hard to read. I'm literally staring into a light bulb. You watching this are staring into a light bulb. It hurts your soul, your eyes, your corneas, etc. And so when you have to stare into a light bulb to discern text, it becomes difficult, onerous, if you will. And so you can get around all of that simply by just writing a little bit simpler.
Do you know what else improves readability, though?
Periods?
Punctuation.
Ah.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's overrated. Many of these medications are extremely taxing on the body and can have severe long-term side effects. Things like liver damage, cardiovascular risks, memory loss, decline, dependency, gastrointestinal issues, and the list goes on. Regardless if it's several ibuprofen a day or a few of X or Y painkillers to slap a Band-Aid on the issue, allowing you to trudge through another day, the cost simply isn't sustainable for your wallet and, more importantly, for your body. It's interesting. He has a period here, but this actually like is a sentence fragment. So technically there should be like ellipses here to trail off to this. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. This lift, I think, could use some chiropractic care.
$30,000 worth?
Maybe $375 worth.
Okay.
The big thing that you're trying to communicate is that there is a juxtaposition. Healthcare is expensive. It's very expensive. Medicine is expensive. It can be harmful. There's a toll to all of it. Now, chiropractic care can be cheaper. Now,
well, hold on. Before you go on, I literally Googled, Sean, I just did some Google searches. How much does the average person spend on back pain? How much do Americans spend on back pain? Americans,
$27,000 a year.
Well, I mean, it's in about $9,655 per person on neck and back pain, $380 billion on low back and neck pain, as well as on joint and limb pain. The average herniated disc procedure costs between $20,000 and $50,000. How much does the average mattress cost? That people, they think they need a better mattress, so they go out and spend all of this money on a better mattress. So you can bring specificity to all of these costs and make it a lot more felt to the average person who's suffering from this exact affliction.
I think, yes, Lindsay, that's the direction that I was going to go in. I think that that's a much more powerful direction to take this particular lift, because you're actually showing specifics. You can now create that juxtaposition very easily, because you've clearly anchored, like, this is what it's going to cost you if you don't go with us. That's the emotion you want to create.
For $375,
right? And you can bring that to the forefront.
Possibly. Yeah, like if you are going after cost objections, show them the alternative cost objections. You need to make $375 seem so cheap that they're like, all right, you're right, I'm in.
Exactly. What do you guys think of him mixing that financial cost objection with these physical side effects? Is that distracting?
I think that's distracting. That violates the rule of one. That's two ideas.
Okay.
And honestly, I think that this is weak, because it might actually raise the objection, like, wait, are you saying that chiropractic care replaces medicine? Which can put some people off of it.
Yeah. Whereas
a lot of people sort of already have the assumption that, these two things can live in harmony, faces and books coming together. And so, like, there's a place for all of it. So you don't want to go too hard in the paint of, like, abandon medicine, kill your doctor. Don't. Yeah,
that's just a whole other idea. Yeah. Keep it cost based if that's what you're doing in this email.
Another thing too is, the good thing that what he's doing in these three emails is he's focusing on objection, like, and then strategically planning out his sequence according to those objections. Yeah. One thing that I would recommend, and this is not required, and not every business is going to go for it, but to end any welcome sequence or email sequence, not with another objection killing thing, but instead with something resembling urgency. For example, what if the subject line of the final email, maybe the fourth email in this sequence, is urgent message from Chiro something or other, Chiro World customer service director. No secondary subject line. Dear valued customer, we noticed that you haven't acted yet on your custom wellness plan. Dr. So-and-so prepared it for you himself, and it's ready for you to act on. But a curious thing, when we were going through our list, we noticed that you haven't signed up for it yet. We can only hold this record for so long before it no longer becomes applicable. Would you like it? If so, click this link right now. Otherwise, we're going to have to delete these files according to, some regulations. Look up the regulations if there are any, or to use a different justification if there aren't any.
Yep.
And just go from there. It's a purely urgency and scarcity driven email.
Yes, I had that same thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know what to do with this. Yeah. Kill your doctor. That's going to get us demonetized for sure. Anyway,
I think we've spent a significant amount on breezy stuff. Let's move on because we have a lot of other people to get through.
Yes. Okay. No context in Discord.
Boo.
Oh,
You suck.
that'd be nice. This person gave us money.
You suck at
Hey,
setting
it
up
comes with the territory.
contacts
It comes with the
that
territory. We are very upfront. These streams, these critique streams, we go for blood.
not here to be your friend.
I am.
Shut up, Sean. You love it.
No, it makes me cry afterwards. I don't like being mean to people. It makes me sad. All right. Event. It's email 1. Save the date and networking focus. Subject line. See you in Sydney at the Tech Leaders Showcase. Hey, tech decision maker. I need to stop myself sometimes from like jumping in and be like, hey, we need to talk about this. So, hey, tech decision maker, there is your salutation. This is fantastic. You have signed up for a day away from the office. Who doesn't want that? Get ready for an unforgettable evening of networking, collaboration, and learning at the Tech Leaders Showcase. Imagine connecting with 3,000 tech leaders who are at the cutting edge of the industry. This is the perfect opportunity to expand your network and share your experiences with like-minded individuals from the same industry. That is what the Tech Leader Showcase event has in store for you. Here's what you can expect. Networking galore. Rub shoulders with fellow industry movers and shakers who are eager to exchange ideas, forge partnerships, and make lasting connections. Dive into collaborative sessions where we'll tackle the latest industry trends and challenges, brainstorming innovative solutions together. These bullets are not terrible. I feel like this could use some help. These are okay so far. Indulge your senses and boost your culinary skills with an interactive dumpling making workshop. Who says networking can't be delicious? That gets my attention.
Yeah,
That's fuck it.
quirky and I love it.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I just think like, Silicon Valley tech, bro, they're gonna fucking love making dumplings.
Yes, dumplings.
Silicon Valley grows in appropriating Asian cultures.
Yeah. Again, faces in books. There you go. Raise a glass and discover the secrets of fine wine in an exclusive tasting masterclass. Expand your palate while expanding your network. Good bullet. Immerse yourself in the exciting world of virtual reality gaming. Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled adventure that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Not bad. But wait, there's more. I love it. That's a Steve Jobs thing. Our main stage will feature influential speakers who are not only experts in the fields, but also your peers and industry leaders. Their talks will inspire and empower you, offering invaluable insights to sharpen your decision-making prowess. No period.
This is better than most of the other ones, so.
We'll give it a pass. To secure your spot, simply RSVP today by visiting this link. With limited seats available, early registration is highly recommended. Before we go any further, I just need you to open your calendar to save the event details.
You don't need to do that.
All right. Okay. You're going to run into trouble here because 2 CTAs. CTA 1, CTA 2. Now, there is an ability when you sign up to send somebody an email with what is called a ICS file, some sort of file that basically allows you to automatically input information into a calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook, etc., any calendar near you, by sending them this file. You can, with one click, have people add this to their calendar. And so if you know that technology is available, one thing I would recommend is leaving that particular CTA for after they've signed up. That's just a recommendation.
For their target audience of tech leaders, they probably know how to add something to their calendar anyway. And so I feel like even asking for the click is a distraction from anything else you could have them doing.
Yeah.
No matter where the click is.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. If it's one thing that I know about selling B2B, which is not much, it's that business people are just as lazy as customers. So the more frictionless you can make anything, the better. It's just a human thing. Join us at the Tech Leader Showcase and seize this opportunity to gain fresh perspectives, forge meaningful relationships, and create memories that will fuel your professional journey. We can't wait to welcome you to the Tech Leaders Showcase, where tech decision makers like you come together for an evening of connections and collaboration. See you soon. Best regards. And then the valediction. Okay. There's a lot of good in this.
Yeah.
But it's not working yet. Lindsay, what do you think?
While you guys were talking, I was just looking up the CES, which is a huge, like the big Consumer Technology Association, like a big tech conference, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one that I'm thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah, CES is the most influential tech event in the world, the proving ground for breakthrough technologies and global innovators. I was trying to go and find like their agenda and anything that would remotely look like, say, like bullets that you could put in here, but like they aren't overly salesy. I don't think they have to be because they're so huge. Like they had 3,200 exhibitors. They're in 151 countries. Like 4,000 media attend. So they don't have to try so hard. But one thing that I think this is missing is, again, just specificity. Like what are the types of sessions you have booked? Who are some of the speakers who are going to be there? What are some of the like budding tech trends that you're going to be talking about that I can hear about? Like the dumpling thing is cool, but like I don't know. Can you? Yeah. Is there a world-renowned chef who's going to be, who's like going to be there?
The pool of names is very important.
The pool of names is very, very important when you're talking about a tech leaders showcase and networking. Because if people are going to these things expecting to network, and they're going to want to have exposure to leaders in these spaces.
I want to point out something a little bit more fundamental.
Okay.
When I read this, I assume this is a welcome email congratulating people for signing up to this event. But it's clear by the end that that's not what this is.
Yeah, good call.
Hey, you've signed up for a day away from the office. Who doesn't want that? See you in Sydney. It all implies that this person is on their way and to get ready for this.
Yeah.
It feels like we're congratulating people for making a good decision, and we are reaffirming that decision, all of which is good for a confirmation or welcome email once somebody's bought. This implies, however, that a person has not yet RSVP'd for this event.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, by saying RSVP for an event. Now, here's the thing. If, yes, it was supposed to be a sign-up email. Okay. This counteracts that. All of this works against that. So you need to find a different way to get people's attention.
Well, this is an email, so they've opted into something. So they've made a decision, possibly a halfway micro commitment to sign up for an event. So you could address.
We don't know that because there's no context at the beginning.
We don't, other than the fact that this is an email and an email address has been given. Maybe they signed up to see an agenda or, whatever. James, if you can.
Yeah, James, help us out here.
Help us out, yeah. But yes, Sean, to your point, like let's assume this was not an email because it's obvious that nobody has signed up for anything, in which case this would be a landing page. Yeah, in which case none of this would be relevant.
Let's pretend that this is for a business called, the Tech Leaders Consortium,
Yeah.
And the Tech Leaders Consortium has an event, the Tech Leaders Showcase. And so this, I would assume, is an email that he's sending out to try to get people to RSVP for the showcase that are already interested in the Tech Leaders Consortium, or whatever it is called. And so ultimately, this is trying to do two different things. It's saying, hey, yo, thank you for signing up. But also, hey, yo, sign up. Does not compute. Help computer.
What is that voice? Who is that?
You've never seen the G.I. Joe PSAs?
No.
Oh my God, I know what we're doing tonight. Anyway.
Well, knowing is half the battle.
We were getting stoned and we were watching the G.I. Joe PSAs.
Okay.
All right. Anyway. So, don't do drugs, kids.
It's the opposite of G.I. Joe.
Okay. They have already signed up. So they've already signed up for an email list, or they have already signed up for the actual event. And if they've already signed up for the event, why do you have them RSVPing for the event?
They have signed up to an interest list. He is trying to get them to pay for a ticket.
Okay.
Is maybe my understanding. To secure your spot, simply RSVP today by registering with limited seats available. Early registration is highly recommended. So I think that's what he's doing.
Okay.
So they signed up for some sort of interest list. Yeah. He's not sure yet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We can guide you along this process. So that's what you did. You had people input their email address for an interest list to receive more information. And now you're talking to these people. I'm so excited for you. You're about to embark on this awesome event. And you are simultaneously reaffirming the decision that they want to attend, which is a great decision. But you also have to do the work to convince them to take out their credit card and actually pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's at that point where what I want to advise James is to think about your objective. Like, if you are congratulating people for signing up to an email list, there's other work that you need to do, because get ready for an unforgettable evening at this thing. That implies that they've already signed up for the thing.
Or it's that, he's basically like trying to carry on this momentum by assuming that they've already committed and now they just need to take out their credit card, which I think is fine. But to my earlier point, then you need to do some mad work on convincing people about what is actually going to be there in order to compel them to purchase a ticket.
Yeah. And there are two ways you can go about that. One is more intrigue, which is have a landing page that has all the details, that sells people on the event, all of it, and just try to build intrigue for that. Or you can actually sell them in the email. Here, it feels like you're trying to sell them on the actual event itself, but it's not really working for me. And part of that just has to do with what Lindsay was saying earlier. And I would just go with her advice, have way more specificity, have way more detail.
Yeah, CES. Go look at the big tech conferences, see what they do. They have featured exhibitors. They have Abbott, Amazon, Google, John Deere, LG, Microsoft, Sony. You can view all the exhibitors.
Yeah.
You can see who the speakers are. You can see an actual agenda. And it might be that sometimes this happens for repeat events. They haven't nailed down the agenda yet. They haven't nailed down the schedule. And you are just trying to get early sales from people who went in previous years, had a great time, loved it, want to return again. And it's a good strategy because when you book money up front for conferences, you can then have money to committed to go pay for more expensive talent, which then attracts more people to come, right? And so it might be that you just don't have that specificity yet. But again, in that case, I would maybe lean a little bit more into, if you scroll down a little bit, Sean, into the early bird pricing, which in and of itself, if you're doing what you possibly could be doing, which is going after repeat people, price, a big price discount is the first email that you should send out.
Yeah.
They're already sold because they had a past experience. You need you basically need a big money grab to fund the event and go solicit bigger names. And so you can just like come out with it. This, you have until August 31st to get the absolute best price for, the upcoming Tech Leaders Showcase.
Yeah. And that depends on if it's an email blast or if it's an automated email.
Yeah.
Too. There's all these things to keep in mind and consider. The other thing too, and this is more of a tactic and less of a principle. She was talking about principles. I want to give you a tactic. I've seen marketing conferences and other conferences where they say past conferences have featured company, person. It's not saying, hey, this is what the lineup's going to be. Yeah. It's saying,
this
hey,
is the caliber
exactly
people who are going to be there.
And so you get the sort of like the dust of the moth wings of brilliance, like sprinkled onto this email. And that is alluring to people as a form of social proof.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else on this one, or should we move on to the next one?
Let's move on to the next one.
Cool.
Okay.
Maybe it's just the URL.
I guess so. All right. Context, view, Zoom, 200. Context, landing page for online dog training. The client is running Google Ads to this page. Our main keyword is virtual dog training. So I've included it front and center to improve the Google Ads quality score. Love it. The client wants to bring in new people with a free class to convert them. On the back end, they are associated with the huge social account, The Dodo. Separation anxiety is the most pressing issue dog owners seek a trainer for. Leash pulling is the next. This person's done the research. I love it. Note, get $30 off. Private training was added to the eyebrow copy. The eyebrow initially read for a limited time. Okay. Like it. Love it. Let's go.
Yes.
Photo vet. For limited time, get $30 off private training. Book your first online dog training session 100% free. Take your first step towards transforming your dog's behavior with a risk-free intro session, no contract, long-term commitment, or credit card needed. Wow. Okay. Proudly certified by. Great. After your first session, you'll walk away with a better understanding of the root causes behind your dog's behavior and exercise tailored to your dog's needs. And next, I want to take a moment to say that this person's done a very good job so far. Pretty good. Resources to continue working with your dog, even if you decide not to book another call. See a session in action. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's really good.
That's so good. Oh my God, that's good. Okay. We'll talk about this in a second, but actual demonstrations, you can probably even lift that up. Maybe, pardon me. Consider an alternative headline test that actually features a demonstration. But where it is right now, that works too. Some of what we've helped with. Building the confidence your dog needs to overcome separation anxiety. Going back in the office, or maybe you'd like to, oh my God. Oh, I love it when people actually listen to the shit that we say and write well. It makes me cry.
It's strange how rare that is.
Oh, God. Whatever the reason, we can help your pup overcome their separation anxiety so you can stop feeling like a prisoner inside your own home. Book separation anxiety session. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm going to stop fawning. I'm a professional. I am a professional.
Keep telling yourself that.
I'm going to keep telling myself that. Overcoming leash pulling, lunging, and aggression. No more lunging, pulling, or being dragged across your neighborhood like you're running an Iditarod sled race. Good. So here's the thing. Husky owners will know what that is.
I was going to say, does every dog owner like dream of doing Iditarod like I do?
Yeah. No. Here's the thing. any sled dog owner.
Yes, sled dog
agree with
owner.
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's
absolutely.
what I mean.
Well, yes, Lindsay, the answer is yes. We'll use a combination of positive reinforcement and command training to make walks. So earlier in the stream, one of the things we were talking about was systematization, like coming up with terminology that is specific to what you are doing, positive reinforcement, command training. So here's the thing. Even if this is common parlance in dog training circles, it's not common parlance among normies. So you can utilize that to build your own authority. A sort of like, oh, that's really fascinating. I've never heard about that. It becomes this almost like magic seeming mechanism.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not just that it's like a unique thing. It's also that they actually work. They chose to be specific, because that sentence works if you say, will make walks something both you and your dog look forward to. But they actually took the time to say, these are the specific things we're going to use. And those specific things were also unique. They're mechanisms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Book leash walking session. Building a foundation of obedience that will last a lifetime. Transform your dog's wild disobedience into polished manners. I love this picture, by the way.
It's a great picture.
It's a good photo. With the help of positive reinforcement and proven techniques, you and your four-legged friend live a happier, more fulfilling life. Book obedience session. Why train with Dodo Vet? It's customized, it's affordable, it's convenient. Just going to sort of skim through a little bit to save time. What we'll cover during our session, our training will discover your challenges and goals. We'll help you understand the root cause of your dog's behavior and exercise. We'll practice to begin seeing noticeable improvement. And exercise, we'll practice to begin seeing noticeable improvement.
It's like, we'll give you an exercise or something. You're missing something at the beginning.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's the first awkward thing that I've noticed. You know, we'll give you an exercise and practice it together so that you can immediately see a noticeable improvement. There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Dodo, we're the only dog trader recommended by the #1 animal brand in the world, the Dodo. Focus on your pet's unique needs. Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. Look at, there's even an FAQ at the end.
I know, it's so good.
So good.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Answering those big objections. The first one, how effective is virtual training? Like, will this even work? You know, like actually seeing it a lot, like actually seeing a session in action, addressing it directly in an FAQ. I mean, this is fantastic.
I almost feel like this, what we'll cover during our session, could come before this.
They said something along those lines somewhere else. Do you know where that was? Because this is the second time they've said that. This 3-part thing.
We'll cover during a session versus
yes,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so this may be a little redundant. Here's the one objection that I still have after reading this. And possible that they don't have it. Social proof. Happy customers. Testimonials. 5-star reviews. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got thousands of happy pet parents trust Dodo Vet. But is Dodo Vet the same?
No, so
it's not, because it's saying we are trusted by the Dodo. There's Dodo Vet, but this is it's not specifically addressing training, is it? It's a little confusing.
Yeah, so this is very much a bishop's robes kind of thing, where they're getting testimonials for Dodo Vet, and then having that sort of through transmutation confer authority to this particular page.
Yes.
They're not for those? This isn't for Dodo Vet, you think?
Working from home, started to make Sunny super needy. Trainer. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the testimonials.
It looks, though, like
yeah, this is attached to the Dodo and not this actual page. Okay, that was my mistake. I am, in fact, an idiot. I would probably move this up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because if it's one, what are the biggest objections that people have to something like this? Does it work?
Yeah.
And section 2, testimonials provide immediate proof that it works.
Yes. And here is an idea that you could test up front. I mean, I think this is fantastic. The big objection I think people are going to have is virtual dog training, does it actually work with my pet? And I would say it actually works even better because I have 2 huskies. I did in-person dog training. And what happened during my in-person dog training? My dog performed like an angel during our hour session when the trainer was present. And the trainer was doing all the drills, and the trainer was working directly one-on-one with my dog. I mean, my dog knew exactly what to do when the trainer was present. The second the trainer left and I was alone with my dog was like, screw this, and reverted back to his old behavior. I mean, maybe that's saying something about me, right? But I would even make you could actually like lean into that a little bit. Like you don't have the crutch of an in-person trainer. Like you are being forced to take the trainer's words and do it yourself. And it actually is more effective because your dog is learning directly one-on-one with you and not with, the trainer who is going to leave. And then your dog is like, okay, got my gold star. Now I can go back to dominating my owner, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is an example.
I think this is a great, like, we don't have to pretend. This is great. This is great copy. I think, we gave it all of the punch-ups that we are capable of giving.
Does it say for pricing?
It doesn't say anything about pricing. It's just that free session.
In the FAQ, there's a small pricing thing. Could they have a link there to like an order form?
Yeah. One thing that I would do is do a little bit of price anchoring here. Standard in-person dog training costs this much money.
Mm-hmm.
Because we work entirely online, in the convenience of your own home, yada, yada, yada. We're able to save a lot of money on transportation costs and stuff like that. For that reason, you only have to pay $99 for a 3-pack of sessions. Really just, provide some justification, work down and show, because no matter what number you put, if there's a dollar sign in front of it, people are going to have sticker shock. It just happens.
It costs money.
And so no matter how big or how small that dollar amount is, you have to find some way to justify why it's the cheapest thing on the planet. But here's the thing. It's easy to do that. You can do it for any product ranging from $3 to $10,000. And it works. So that's something that I would add to that particular piece of copy. The other big suggestion is actually have video up at the top. Like have some sort of sizzle reel or like a well edited video that plays right here where this image is, that shows that transformation story, bad dogs being turned via this process into good dogs, etc. But that's a later thing. Once you start making money, invest in that and then test it against this and see if it works. So
yeah. Do you guys think it's worth testing like a benefit headline here? So like flipping the book your first online dog training session 100% free and take your first step towards transforming your dog's behavior, and just testing those against each other.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I mean, yeah, anything is definitely worth.
Yeah, anything's worth testing. Here's my thing. If somebody's on this page, in all likelihood, they already want dog training.
Yeah, they already want dog training, in which case, I don't know, for limited time, get 30 off. I don't know. That doesn't feel very meaningful to me.
Yeah, and also contrast with this.
It's confusing. That was confusing to me in the beginning. I was like, hang on, what's happening here? I thought it was $30. I thought it was 30 off. I was expecting a cost of some sort, and then I see 100% free. So I had to actually do that, calculus of like, oh, it's the first one's free, and then if I buy, then I'm gonna have $30 off. I would.
It's just unclear.
It's unclear. Yeah.
It's 2 different offers. you're trying to advertise.
Yeah, you're doing the free session and then
Yeah. So that is just a little bit of advice, add clarity there, but that's not a throw this out the window. That's a like tweak the wording a little bit. So it's a little bit better. You can play around with a few different types of wording or even a benefit driven headline. But ultimately, if somebody's on this page, they just need to be pushed over the edge a little bit to take action.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, we just saw some good copy. How do you all feel about that?
Great copy.
That was great.
that was great.
That's good. Okay.
Groovy.
I definitely, one of the disadvantages of like being in this particular realm or business that we have is that you want to feel smart. You want to feel like you have things to say about everything, but I'm not going to dick around. Sometimes things are just good. Keep up the good work. Here's some ideas for improvement. There you go.
Yeah, love it.
All right. Who wants to read this one?
I will.
Right.
Context. Zetafi is a B2B SaaS startup that helps you to quickly and easily capture, organize, and share impactful feedback from customer conversations. Built-in integration with Zoom, Meet, etc. Our target audience are founders and product designers who just signed up for the free plan.
Okay.
So welcome email 2.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess it's from this person at Zetafi.
I think it might be Zetafy.
I'm going to pronounce it differently every single time.
Please do.
Okay. Hooray. Welcome to Zetafy. First name. Pre-header 1. Come join the fam. Company logo. Ready to take the first step? Say hello to a stress-free product feedback process. Explore your dashboard. Is that?
I'm guessing that's a link to take people to the dashboard or whatever the SaaS product is.
Great. Hey, first name, team member name here. I just wanted to say a huge,
Hugie.
Hugie. It's like bougie, but huge. Thanks for joining Zetafi. No, seriously. No, comma, seriously. Here's a photo of our whole team already welcome you. Insert team photo. Now, if you're a founder or product designer, or if any part of your day spent in gathering customer feedback, you probably know that customer feedback manually can get really, really exhausting. That's where we can help. Zetafi is a powerful tool that helps you streamline the whole process with 50% less manual efforts. Here's how it works.
Fewer, by the way. Not that anybody cares.
1, easily capture customer feedback. 2, uncover valuable insights from the feedback. 3, quickly share the feedback using your favorite tools. In fact, we just recorded an entire Getting Started on Zetafi video playlist for you. 1-minute videos to save you hours of frustration.
Never imply that your product frustrates.
Yeah. Or if you prefer a short all-in-one onboarding guide to Zetafi, we've got you covered here. Last but not least, if you'd like a more personalized look at Zetafi, I'd love to chat and show you how it works. You can grab time with me as early as today or tomorrow over here. Talk soon and happy researching. Team member name. P.S. Tomorrow you'll receive a special message from our founders where they will talk about how they started Zetafi and a special gift for you. P.P.S. Inboxes can royally suck sometimes, and to make sure you don't miss out on tomorrow's juicy email with our special gift, or with your special gift, add Zetafi to your contact list. Watch this 1-minute video to learn how.
Okay. This is whitelisting instructions. This is setting expectations for future emails. All of that is good, reasonably good. What comments do you guys have on the rest of it?
Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It feels a little long. Some of the it seems like they want to throw a ton of embeds in here or pictures.
Sorry, I was confused. So someone signed up for the free plan.
Yeah.
Can they actually, but they're getting all of this how to manual, how to integrate this with your within your own current systems. I'm missing a little bit of context. Like, can you actually use this technology in a free version forever in a way that helps your company? Or like, are you on a 7-day trial and then you're manually upgraded if you don't cancel? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused because in the beginning, the copywriter is basically like reselling this technology and saying, and basically it seems like they're trying to like get money for it because they're reselling the idea. But then as I'm like working through this, it sounds like there's like I'm getting an onboarding guide. I'm getting a calendar invite link to my special concierge person to start like integrating this technology.
And that's basically going to be like direct phone sales. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's direct phone sales. So, So I don't know. I found that a little bit confusing. If the idea, I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on what I just said?
I mean, this falls into the same issue that I was having with the other email that we reviewed today, which was I wasn't sure what the objective was.
Yeah.
You know, like I wasn't sure, like in the beginning, is it trying to do, welcome people and congratulate them, or is it trying to sell people? Like, what are we trying to do here? Welcome emails are a weird type of genre to write because you do have to do a lot. You have to consider like where the customer is coming from. Mm-hmm. What have they seen? What is the offer that they've seen? What is the specific context surrounding their involvement with your business? You have to give them whitelist instructions. You have to give them anything that they promised if they did sign up for something in particular. There's a lot that you have to do in a welcome email. The best welcome emails, try to divide that a little bit. So like, for example, instead of like the free gift tomorrow, the free gift could be the playlist of like 1-minute videos of how to actually use this particular thing to very easily overcome any possible problems that they have with their current customer feedback organization systems. Now,
yeah, I mean, I yes, you have to do a lot in like welcome emails, but I would break this up. So this is going to be like a gauntlet. The first thing you want to put in front of people is going to be like the easiest thing. Hey, you just signed up. Here is a playlist of 7 1-minute videos, all about plugging in Zatafi to your current system, and then like push people to that. And then the next day, I would say, I would send something about like, hey, hope you enjoy. Like, if here's an all-in-one onboarding guide to get you started or whatever. And then from there, I would say like, hey, do you have any questions about the system so far? Book a Calendly link. Because like by that time, if I've signed up for this service and then I've like hit a roadblock in terms of like setting this up for myself, which, if I signed up for a 7-day free trial and I didn't like directly commit to paying for the service, like I think by day 3, like I'm ready to talk to somebody who is then going to like resell me on that original intent. And then also just like help me integrate it with all of my systems. Right. And so, I would like break it up a little bit.
Yeah. I also,
you're giving people too many like actions to take. It's a little overwhelming for me.
Yeah. Even if you're selling B2B. Another thing too is, this could come in email 2 or 3. It can also come in the welcome email. It's entirely up to you. You're speaking abstractly here. If you are a founder or product designer, or if any part of your day is spent in gathering customer feedback, like Jesus Christ, okay, I see the net that you're trying to cast. It's a lot. It's 3 distinct nets. You probably know that capturing customer feedback manually can get really, really exhausting. I'm gonna flip this a little bit. Insert team photo. Hey, name, team member here. I just want to say a huge thanks for joining Z Tafey. No, seriously. Here's a photo of our whole team all ready to welcome you. Now, let me take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about why Zatafi exists. Let me introduce you to Lisa and then show a picture of Lisa. Lisa is a project team manager, and her job was to gather customer feedback to help the sales team optimize their messages. Now, if you know what it's like to manually capture customer feedback, you know how exhausting things can be. That's exactly what was happening to Lisa. Now, Lisa, when she contact, et cetera, get into actually show a case study. That doesn't have to be in the first email. It can come email 2, email 3, what have you. But actually show some sort of story or some sort of demonstration of what Zetafy can do for a specific person. Create an avatar. Create Lisa, a person that the reader can project onto so that they understand, 1, what this is for, and 2, how it will benefit them, clearly.
Yeah, so I was a little bit confused by that too. Like, who is this for? I say Lisa's a couples therapist, and she does only online couples therapy, and she meets over Zoom. Like, that was one of the things that this copywriter specified, is it's built in integration with Zoom. Yeah. Or whatever. And then she like conducts her session, and then she wants feedback or whatever, and so by doing that avatar and that actual like demonstration of how this is used, immediately brings clarity to the technology and how it can be used and how easy it is. Like, it makes the pain and suffering of going through 9 1-minute videos overcomeable.
Yeah. No, listen, anybody will watch a 1-minute video. Anybody. You can get anybody to watch a 1-minute video. There is not a person on the planet that will watch 9 consecutive 1-minute videos. More people would be inclined to watch 1 9-minute video than watch 9 1-minute videos.
Yes.
9 1-minute videos feels like work. That is just the psychology of the human mind. It's weird. So, does anybody have anything else that they want to say about this? I would say just focus. Don't feel like you have to cram everything into 1 email. Feel like, this is a welcome sequence, so you can split it up a little bit. Guide people, but gradually.
Yeah, it's a good effort, though. It includes lots of things that are really important to include.
Solid effort.
Yeah.
No, listen. If we were crunched for time and had no other alternatives lined up, I would say, fuck it, placeholder it, and then get me a better version within the next month. Yeah. So I would give it a C-, D+, C-.
It's better than a D+.
Okay.
Yeah.
A C-. All right.
Okay. We're on this one, I think.
We're on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Lindsay, I know that, this is exciting.
I know. I opened it up. I was like, what is this?
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I gotta jet in 9 minutes.
Yes.
But you can hear the screaming baby in the background.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
You scroll over here. It's interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wants to read this one?
I think it's my turn.
Okay.
Conquer pain, regain strength, boost your performance. ABC Therapy provides fully integrated care so you can get comprehensive treatment at the highest standard and stay moving for life. Book your appointment online. Here's Esma's testimonial. Okay.
Okay. But we don't need to read the
no.
testimonial.
Integrated, impeccable care. We know that dealing with painful injury or loss of mobility can be a frustrating and isolating experience. Here at ABC Therapy, we're not just professionals, we're your partners, supercharging your path to recovery. Our team of expert therapists work cohesively with you to create customized treatment plans that target the root cause of your pain or mobility issues. Therapy ABC offers physiotherapy, massage, chiropractic care, and more, so you can easily access all of the care you need at one convenient space. This multidisciplinary approach to treatment means you feel better faster for longer. Book your appointment online.
Can I really quickly just say, this is better as bullets.
Yeah.
You know, like when people get onto a landing page like this, they are skimming. Does the thing that you're offering have the thing that I want? And so they're not going to sit and read a 4-line paragraph. They're going to be hunting for subheads. You know, look at this. The first thing they're going to read is this. Then they're going to read this. Then they're going to read this. And then they're going to ignore this because it's too long. That's how people read a web page. I have the heat maps to prove it. Now, as you scroll down, like, there's some good copy here, some good messaging here, but it's too much. It's let me put it to you this way. The problem here is a function of design and not content. And so formatting this differently, spreading out the information, being more succinct. I noticed this in the deck copy too. Therapy ABC provides : bullet, fully integrated care. So you can get, fully integrated care.
Is the same as comprehensive treatment. Like, I don't know. This sounds like, I remember, like, I did my master's degree in sports science, and I, like, after I came out of like child pedagogical development stuff, I, like, if you scroll down, I started writing stuff like, this multidisciplinary approach to, like, and I thought that because, like, I just came out of a textbook and I studied the multidisciplinary approach to child development, that is what people wanted. They wanted, like, a multidisciplinary approach. Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything to the average person. Like, they have no clue what that means. And a lot of this writing, as I'm reading it, it sounds like somebody who just came out of a class, like a physiotherapy, therapist master's degree. And, like, now they think that the stuff that they learned is what, like, people want, fully integrated and blah, blah, blah. People don't want that. They want to be pain-free. They want to be, they want to have mobility. They want to have, so again, like, speaking more human. Yeah. I'm staring here at another huge block of a testimonial. And Sean, you were absolutely right. Nobody is going to read that. Nobody. Yeah. Take out the one sentence in there that is doing the most heavy lifting, the most work, and just, like, leave it at that. You don't have to do everything in a testimonial. It's very distracting, and people aren't going to read it when they see a huge block of text. There's one exception to that, and that is if you want to redo this as a video testimonial or as an audio testimonial. Sure. Play and then have, like, one sentence that, like, almost like a headline for the testimonial pulls from this. That's the headline for the testimonial. It's in quotes. And then there's a little play button for either a video, get an AI to read the testimonial. It doesn't matter. Get a voice to record the testimonial. It doesn't matter. Anyway. Is this
alt versions, I think.
Oh, just alt versions of the headline? Yeah. So I think, okay, because we don't really have context for this either. Yeah. I'm just assuming that this person wants general feedback on the whole page, but is clearly looking for feedback on this headline versus this headline versus this headline.
Better, faster, for longer together. Not number 3.
Yeah, like, I would just challenge the writer to really think about, like, the words they're using. Like, what is integrated care mean? And why are you so hung up on, like, on using that? It's the second subhead, integrated care, integrated impeccable care. So like, what is it about this word integrated that you like? What do you really want to say?
There is a trap that is very easy to fall into when you adopt the language of your client that is not shared with their customers. And I'm sure that this person spoke to their client who runs this practice, who talks about integrated, impeccable care in a very serious manner, who talks to their colleagues and other professionals they know about integrated care, which probably is like, you know, having all these things in one place until all of the different treatment types you're receiving are all part of one package being overseen by one person who understands all the ways in which they interact with. And that probably means something, but we have to understand that just because that is meaningful terminology for one group does not mean it's meaningful terminology for another group. And so
one group being your colleagues and your other group being your customers.
So this is not a pushback. This is just a nuance, which is that, how do I say? There's a small crux of language within any sort of like terminology like that, integrated care or whatever, where it's the same kind of language, but has somehow gained evocativeness with the general public. Integrated multidisciplinary care. Jesus fucking Christ. Bard, I'm sorry. But I'm talking about a word like holistic, where
comprehensive.
Holistic, comprehensive. Those words mean something to an audience, but it's not because they actually mean something to the audience. It's because they're evocative. They get the people going. Nobody knows what it means, though. Nobody knows what holistic care means as opposed to integrated care. But guess what? People have, hooked on associations, positive associations, the word holistic that don't exist for the word integrated.
Correct. That's true. So maybe holistic is a better word there. And I can see that what they want to convey is that, this place, Therapy ABC, provides all of your needs for physiotherapy, massage, chiropractic care. You get to go to one place and you can do all of it, right? But like,
that's a great subhead.
Yeah.
One place, period, all your needs, period.
Yes.
There you go. That tells you exactly the same thing, but with words that I, a dummy, can understand.
Correct.
So I would say,
and that is an attractive idea. I think that's an attractive idea. That it's a more attractive idea than like a term that carries no meaning and is confusing. Then, it reminds me of I pay for I don't pay, my husband pays for a really nice gym here. And, for one, I'm not used to paying for gyms because I was always like, I can just strap on my shoes. I'm a runner and I can go out and run. And then I was used to like, the community gyms, which is a bunch, just some equipment or whatever. But then like when my husband signed me up for this gym and I went to it, and the gym has like a spa in it, and like I can get my hair cut there and I can get a massage there. They have like an actual like medical station, so I can get my hormones checked there, and I can get, Sean, like you suggested once, that I do some like IV, hydration.
Yeah.
And like it's all in one spot. And I was so amazed. I was like, this is awesome. And I will never leave this place because I don't have to go do a mani-pedi. I don't have to drive across town and do a mani-pedi. I can do it here. I can get my hair cut here. I can do my vitamins here, which I don't do. Whatever. If I was that type of person and I wanted one spot, and there are people like that are out there. And so like that is an idea that you can elevate and highlight there.
Yeah. Bullets will go a long way for making this copy better. Finding ways to trim this down, either by changing the medium or by pulling out kernels, very good. We could talk about, this headline versus this, but it's one of those things where, right now.
Yeah, business owner's USP was integrated multidisciplinary care. Your business owner is not your customer. Your business owner's customer. They don't know any better. They don't know how to sell. They don't know. They're not marketers. They're not copywriters. Yeah. They know how to talk amongst themselves and language that makes them sound smart that they got from textbooks, but they don't know how to market their services. That's why they hired you. So you can gently push back on that.
Yeah.
And it's not a unique USP. That's not a unique selling proposition.
Yeah. It's a selling proposition.
It's a selling proposition, but
it ain't unique.
Nothing about that is unique. Guys, I have to jet.
Yeah.
I got to get going.
Yeah. I'm just looking at these headlines and none of them like scream at me. None of them, like, we can do the 4 use test, but I don't think that's necessary. I think like rethinking this and really digging deep and finding like, what is it about this place that is unique, that does offer something that something doesn't? And listen, even if they don't offer something that nobody else offers, you can focus on the thing that nobody else is talking about and bring that to the forefront. That's possible too. That's another way to find a USP.
The one-stop shop thing, for example, is a good way to focus on.
Yeah, your one-stop shop for an active life. I don't know, something like that. Lindsay, is there anything else that you want to say before we say goodbye to you?
This is fun. Thanks to everyone who attended. We hope you have left bloody and bruised, but you are not conquered, and you'll return to the next one and keep improving and getting better. We do this because we love you, and it's tough love.
We hurt you because we love you.
We hurt you because we love you.
You're a great parent, Lindsay.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. See you, dude.
Bye.
Shall we? I think there's a few more.
It's like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Therapy. So 1, 2, 3. There's 4 left. Do you want to just knock all 4 out and then go eat some food?
Yeah. Pull up the golden anteater comment.
Golden Anteater says, "Thank you for all the kind words on the dog training page. I thought it was pretty good and was expecting to get crapped on. It gives me lots of motivation to keep improving." Yeah, listen, all we had to say was stuff that would like be stuff to test, be stuff to tweak. But your page, as it was super solid. So good work. It's clear that you put in the effort. So very good work.
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, solid W, as Mad Proper said. Okay. Next one. Boom. Okay. Spec piece. Context. Hold on. I'm gonna cough a bunch. Context. Logsec is an app for PKM, personal knowledge management. Researchers and students are the target audience. Most people fall into Logsec after trying another app called Obsidian and don't get along with the app. The app is open source and has the ability of linking notes. Logsec has some techie functionalities that can seem complicated. The product is not the app. This product is a Logsec course that is linked in the description of the most famous YouTube channel about Logsec. Okay. I believe this is aimed at people who are too busy to spend time fooling around and need to learn as quickly as possible. One can spend a lot of time just tweaking things in the workflow of the app, so teaching workflows are beneficial. You said to write on what I want feedback on, but this is my first one, so it's pure unconscious incompetence. Lovely. Can't wait. Maybe the bullets at the end, since it's something beginners should train more.
I love the honesty.
Organize and connect your knowledge. Get on top of your notes along the potential of PKM Logsec mastery. Do you have any comments on this headline?
Generic. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me, but it's not the worst thing I've ever read.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever read. You know, I've read Baudrillard. Listen, okay, so think about the whole human population, and then think about the subsection of that population that speaks English, and then think about the subsection of the English population that wants a note app, and then think about the subsection of that population, the people who want a note app, who also know what PKM says. Now, are you speaking specifically to the people who understand what PKM is, or are you trying to speak to the larger bubble of people who want a note-taking app or want more information about a note-taking app. I would imagine it's the latter. And so when it comes to that, this relates to the stage of awareness, but it's more about like in copywriting in general. You have to think about what the person you're speaking to knows and what they wouldn't know. How many people are going to instantly understand, oh, I know what PKM is. Now, listen, if you were writing to an audience at a PKM conference, I get it. That works. But in general,
I could see this working if this is the only, I'm pointing at your description, if it is the case that all the people who are coming to this are being driven from the YouTube channel about Logsec, and on that channel itself, PKM is like a frequently used acronym.
Yeah.
You can get away with this. If you will have a significant amount of traffic from anywhere else, then you should scrap this.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about phenomenology. Okay.
Ooh.
In hermeneutics. So unlock the potential of PKM implies that there's potential in PKM. But PKM by itself does not have any sort of semantic or metaphysical connotations attached to it in absence of a person's experience with PKM. What the fuck did I just say? What did Sean just say? Some philosophical mumbo jumbo. What I'm saying is somebody who doesn't know what PKM means is not going to understand that potential can be unlocked from it. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say.
You'll substitute PKM in that sense for KFC, and it will make a similar amount of sense to someone who doesn't know what PKM is.
Yeah. Or, IRS or IQC or whatever. So that's a lot on 3 letters. I think that you have something with this notion of connecting. If the USP of Logsec is its ability to link notes, that could be a cool feature to highlight. But here's the thing. Like you said, you're selling a course for people that are already in Logsec or that have already purchased Logsec and want to know more. And so what you're trying to do there is not only highlight the USP of Logsec, but also give somebody something that feels like it makes Logsec bigger than what it is, or easier, or simpler.
Better.
Better, faster, stronger, harder. Yes. And that is what you want to evoke in the headline. Here's an easy way. Here's an easy way to do that. Step-by-step guide. One-stop shop blueprint. Quick start guide.
Cheat code.
Your cheat code for unlocking Logsec and using it to, and then why do people want a note-taking app? They want more efficiency. They want to make more money. They want to optimize their life. They want to
optimize their wife.
Yes, optimize their wife is what I said. People want stuff. People only do stuff because they want stuff. And so you need to think about what people want and why this connecting your knowledge matters as it relates to what people actually want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, person watching?
Maybe you could take the word connect and turn it into something more powerful too. Because it's not just about connecting it. There's probably some form of enhancement that you want to demonstrate as a result of that connection. And so a 1 + 1 = 3 sort of situation.
Yeah. I'm like, if I were to revise this, one thing that I would do is probably explore the notion of turn Logsec into your brain's external hard drive or something like that.
Yeah.
And I would play around with that metaphor because that evokes everything there. But it does so, metaphorically at a distance in a way that would capture people's attention. Be like, oh yeah, shit, I want that. There you go.
Yeah.
If you are a student who wants to take notes and have a way to quickly reference them, a researcher who needs a strong PDF annotation tool and a safe database for your work. Hold on. was watching your comment, but this live is kind of slow paced. You review faster. All right, we need to snort meth right away and then review the rest of these.
I'll go get the meth.
All right, sounds good. All right, a lifelong learner who wants to develop new concepts, connect ideas, and improve as a thinker and creator, or is having too much friction in other apps, overthinking the process, and seeing yourself spending more time setting the app up than actually taking notes. Shut up. This is
What he said.
Yeah. You're in the right place. Logsec can be your best friend in this journey. Having an open source local first PKM is the next step for people who, in the information era. Okay, so you're running into the opposite problem of the previous people that we reviewed, where they just ended a sentence but without having a period. Here you're having commas but then breaking stuff up. Don't do that either. Having an open source local first PKM is the first step for people who don't want to be left behind. Period. That's your sentence.
Yeah. This is too long. Also, like, we know it's the information era. No one needs to be reminded of that. No one who wants this cares that it's the information era. They want this because they care about the note taking.
Yeah.
It's just concision.
You know what? If I were to write something for Obsidian, the note taking app, I would probably play around with the idea of like how we've actually entered the Diamond Age. Ooh. And I would like play around with that juxtaposition between Diamond Age and like using Obsidian to, I would do something with that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this doesn't work for me because this is, again, it's not trying to sell the app.
Yeah.
All of this sells the app. So ultimately, none of this applies because this would be for people who want Logsec, right? So, Conrado, that is correct, right? That this is copy for people who want a course but already own Logsec. Is that correct?
I believe so. At the top, he said that it's for the course.
Yeah. No. Okay. Conrado says no. So help me out here. So this is
what the product
app.
Logs of course is link in the description.
Okay. So help me understand what you are trying to accomplish here. If you're trying to sell a course, I'm confused about this approach. If you're trying to sell Logsec, different conversation to have. Habib is just sitting there like, oh my God, do more, talk more, review more.
Spend less time talking about the copy, please.
It's more because people are
getting
into the famous YouTube, so they are still comparing Logsec to Obsidian. Okay. Here's a question. Okay. So if people are... All right. We're going to take a moment here. Are you writing to people who are familiar with Obsidian and you're trying to show the comparison between the two? This is what happened to me. If you're trying primarily to sell against alternatives, like the selling point of this, yes, okay. So here's the thing. I've actually seen some note-taking app landing pages that focus on the difference between that app and some other app. Now, one thing that you can do is get on Obsidian and actually time the amount of time it takes to go from one note to another to find some piece of information, yada, yada. And then go into Logsec and then use the same timer to connect between the same concepts, but with linked notes within Logsec. And then all of a sudden, what you then have is a percentage difference. 87% faster than Obsidian. There you go. That's your comparison. That can either be a headline, that can be a subhead, that can be this. You can relate that speed to efficiency when it comes to note-taking, etc. So that's something that I would recommend you actually look into, because if you are specifically trying to link to people that are trying to decide between those two things, draw the comparison out immediately, either immediately at the top or down here, second thing. So yeah, we've been criticized for having so many pauses.
I'm sorry. We shouldn't have asked Conrado what the point of his copy was. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
We should not have allowed him to elaborate. That was rude.
I was just going to quietly sit here in disappointment.
I love it.
Anyway, so with that in mind, you have to assume that you're speaking to people that already want a note-taking app. After all, they've already seen the video. They're just trying to decide.
Pull that back so you can see it.
Yeah. Good call. So the PKM is not explained. I assume the journey was I take notes. I find out about the second brain PKM. Oh, look, Obsidian. Wait, Obsidian doesn't work for my style. YouTube channel. What do you think of that?
Is that how that works? To end up on a YouTube channel about Logsec, you would have to find out about Logsec first. Okay, let's just Google it. What happens when we Google note-taking app? Oh, very accurate.
Yeah, listen, we're fucking around right now, but what you want to do is actually get clarity on the customer's journey.
Yeah.
What have people seen before? What have they experienced before? What is the path that has led them to this video? That just requires understanding the market a little bit better. That requires understanding what how these different things are being marketed and what people have seen before. If this is going to be in the description of a video, well, you have to understand not only what the video is talking about, but also what the video is trying to convince people to do. If this is about Logsec, then ultimately you can just sell Logsec. If this is about Logsec mastery and a course getting better about Logsec, well, that's a different story altogether, and you would want to change your lead. If this is about comparing Logsec against Obsidian, showing it's better, you would want an entirely different approach for that. You need to sort of think about this more from a 3,000-foot view and come about this with more clarity on exactly who you're speaking to and what convincing they need.
Yeah.
A little bit more customer research is kind of necessary. I use Google Keep. It's free and it's totally delightful.
I've never even heard of that before.
It's great. Notion, Obsidian. Yeah.
Use OneNote. I'm the only person in the world who uses OneNote.
I used to use OneNote. I used to use OneNote a lot. But yeah, Google Keep is great. Anyway, so let's just read a little bit more of the copy and then actually, so powerful, it may seem intimidating at first. I've seen people miss the chance to drastically improve and organize their lives because this feels like a misstep.
Yeah. Don't talk about how hard it is.
Yeah.
Unless what you're doing is you're talking about the course and you're saying that taking the course means you get to skip all of these downsides that other people experience. But even then, you don't want to frame those downsides as inherent to the experience of Logsec.
Yeah. And that relates back to what I was saying with if you are speaking to people that already own Logsec and you're trying to help them get better at using it, well, then what you say, so you're using a note-taking app, you're using Logsec, and you're having trouble with this or this feature. It's okay. We understand there's a sharp learning curve. That's why we made this step-by-step guide. Now, here's the thing. If you're selling a course or a masterclass or anything like that, you can be way more direct. You can actually mention the masterclass way further up in the copy, like within a page or two of the lead or the headline. Like it doesn't take very long, because when people click onto a link, typically what they'll see in the description of that YouTube video will be, check out information about this Logsec masterclass, 30% off. So when people click that link, they are already sort of familiar with like what they're going to see and what to expect.
Yeah.
And so do so right with that in mind. So tool for anyone that deals with knowledge and information, but like any other tool, it needs to be managed correctly, or it can become a hindrance. Like I said before, don't call your product a hindrance. Don't call it a nuisance. Don't speak ill of your product. I didn't have any guide when I started, watching countless hours of YouTube videos, tweaking each step of my workflow. Here's the thing. The job of a copywriter, partially, is, how do I say, to spin negatives into a positive. What you want to do is try to take this and try to reimagine it as one of the benefits of the product rather than something to take away. And you frame that as like Logsec is, extremely powerful. It has all these tools for optimization. It has all these immersed functionalities, yada, yada, yada. So what you do instead is, instead of framing that as a problem, you say, in order to capitalize and maximize the potential of this product when it's in your hands, you might need a little bit of help, a little bit of assistance along the way. And that's why we've got you. That's why we've created this particular masterclass or course or whatever. The ultimate goal there is not in framing all of this as a negative, but instead framing this as a positive of the product. And also like, here's a way to speed up the process of learning it.
Yeah. They're like the things like immerse function, or like talking about all the functionalities, like frame it as there are so many good things here to learn. It will be overwhelming. There's so many good things that like you won't even know what to do with yourself. And so I have gone through the process of simplifying this process for you. Bam.
No. My name is Name. I'm going to teach you all there is to know about Logsec. Yeah. Yeah, I would say this, you can bring this up. You can bring this up a little bit. The people that are like have already watched the video on Logsec, the people that are already excited about learning more about getting better at Logsec, you don't need to wait until page 3 of 6 to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then what you want to do is either go the route of comparison with Obsidian, 87% more efficient than Obsidian or something, and I gave you a path to actually calculate that. The alternative would be to just launch into a course and show some sort of demonstration. Like imagine this page, but, are you ready to unlock your second brain? And then the demonstration is like, there's like a GIF of like a person going through notes. First line, I wasn't always an expert at Logsec, but, and then next line is, then you do the but, and then just go into like the features of Logsec that make it so powerful and good. And then you say, what I've done is collect all of my templates, tools, stuff that makes this setup seem very, very easy. And then say, I put it all into one place, a masterclass. And then the rest of the sales letter is going to be justifying the masterclass, explaining like why it's good, explaining why it's better, like why you would want it, overcoming objections that people would have to it, etc. Does that make sense? Conrado? I feel like we're entering a pause again. We're supposed to just keep talking nonstop, according to this dude that was in our comments.
He left, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which means now we can go real fast.
Okay, good. Yes, exactly. We talk fast, nonstop. All right, nonstop content. It begins right now.
Let's go.
So let's move on to the next one. Conrado, if you have any other questions, throw them into the comments below, and then we'll respond and look at it again. But you actually did mention something about the bullets, so let's actually look at the bullets really quick. Okay, view, zoom, 150. Sneak peek of what you'll get. 101 Logsec. Understand Logsec functionalities and how to make them work together flawlessly. Stop wasting time hassling between apps.
Flip that.
Yeah. Yeah. Kill the hassle and stop wasting time. You know, that's your opening. M dash, you know, use Logsec's elaborate functionalities to your advantage to speed up your workflow instead of slowing you down. That's your bullet. How to avoid the habit that almost every starter makes. Before you get used to it, I'm confused already. Saving you dozens of hours, reorganize your notes to make them useful again. No. Too much fluff.
Yeah. You could turn it into like a stop, avoid this mistake every beginner makes. Save hours organizing your notes by heeding this rule. Whatever.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
This needs to be redone. The simple trick will create a folder-like structure in your graph, but way more powerful. What?
So this simple trick
will create a folder-like structure in your graph. I'm assuming that's, again, for people that have Logsec, that have this particular problem. How about, again, speaking to people that like have Logsec or might not be familiar with all the terminology? Again, cast a slightly wider net, you know, than the PKM versus that.
Yeah.
This simple trick, yeah, you know, will create, I don't know, an easy to use structure in all of your notes and allow you to access them way more powerfully. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
It still feels like a weak bullet, but how to seize the power of linking blocks. Wobbly links could ruin your PKM if you don't know. Okay, I see what you're doing here, and I love it, but it's not working here. Why is it not working here? Because we still run into the problem of like, okay, is PKM really going to be what people know, experience, have in their brains? Okay. How to seize the power of linking blocks. You might even frame that as like, you know, do your notes have wobbly links? Question mark. How to seize the power of linking blocks, and then create and have some sort of benefit attached to that. The only 12 workflows that are actually of any use in Logsec. How to adapt each to your note modal.
The only 12 workflows you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, and then, you know, to achieve some benefit, something.
Be really careful of phrases like this that are actually of any use in.
Yeah.
Where it's like a bunch of really small words that don't have a ton of meaning.
It also sells against Logsec. I'm like, the 12 workflows that are actually of any use. It's like, okay, you're basically saying that Logsec only has 12 good workflows. Okay. That sucks. That sucks ass. All right.
Damn.
Yeah, just be careful with that. How you also can benefit from the smart spaced repetition feature, improve your knowledge retention, and gain an edge in the information era. Again, nobody cares about the information era. How you also can benefit. That's awkward. You know, that's the A in Cuba.
Yeah.
From the smart space repetition feature. Here's the thing. Like, you kind of have to educate people a little bit because, again, you're going to be speaking to people that know Logsec and have used it and struggle with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be speaking to people that want Logsec and want some hand-holding with setting it up. And you're going to be speaking to people that have Logsec but don't actually know the names of any features. Like, for example, I've tried to use Obsidian. You could not, like, gun to my head, could not get me to tell you a single feature in Obsidian. Don't know it. I've used Notion too. Don't get it. Don't remember any of it. It was garbage. It was garbage. I dumped it. There you go. And so the smart space repetition feature, if I were a Logsec user, this would probably mean nothing to me. Got to keep that in mind. You're speaking to people that are going to have varying levels of knowledge about the product that you are trying to sell and the supplementary product that you're trying to sell attached to it. Things to keep in mind. So this is a feature. Now, the bullet here is trying to get how to get the most from this feature. The only way to do that is to attach to some sort of benefit, which you're doing here, improve your knowledge retention and gain an edge in the information area. I would say the first one is a little bit better. What you do there is you say how to use the, quote, smart space repetition, end quote, to improve your knowledge retention. Never heard of this feature? Most Logsec users never even knew that this was possible. Something like this. Yeah, by the way, okay, I tried to appeal to everyone, ended up appealing to no one. That is extremely common.
Yeah.
One of the most counterintuitive things about copywriting and marketing in general is that if you try to create something that appeals to the most number of people, you will end up alienating the most number of people.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. If your demographic is ever everybody, you've lost everybody. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to be very conscientious and very cognizant of whom you're speaking to and what that person has experienced. So, Conrado, was this helpful?
Hope so.
I hope so. Let's look at this.
Hostage
tape sales tape. Well, hostage tape is that it goes over your mouth when you sleep so that it forces you to breathe through your nose.
Wow.
So I'm all about it. I actually was tempted to buy some relatively recently, so I love it. Good. So excellent. Go revise. Good luck. For the sake of your partner, shut your mouth. Gets attention. It's aggressive. I like it.
Yeah.
And see how this body hack will get rid of your chainsaw snoring almost overnight. Okay, 12 pages. We'll read the lead to this and maybe skim through it a little bit. But this is a sales letter.
Yeah.
Basically. So, and I would distinguish a sales letter from a sales page because a sales letter is written like a letter. You're actually writing to someone. Contrast that with the actual, here, let's look at hostage tape brief. I can type. So this is more akin to a sales page, what you typically see. This is an order form, or cart page. It is very expensive. It's for tape, for medical tape that goes on your mouth when you sleep. Anyway, strongest, comfortable mouth tape on the planet. Breathe better, sleep better. I don't know why this is not loading correctly. Maybe it's because of whatever. Anyway, why is hostage tape so special? So this is, again, more akin to a sales page. It's selling stuff, but it's more modular. You know, the superhero mouth taping, give some information, sleep better now. All in all, the copy here is, it's kind of okay. But it's very clear that, you know, they don't have like a sales letter per se. And then this is more of a listicle, you know, sleep better now. And then this takes you, again, back to this. So that's hostage tape.
Okay.
So this is an actual, like, an alternative sales letter to sell hostage tape. And so presumably an email to the hostage tape list would link to this page, or you can do it with affiliates or on ClickBank or whatever. See how this body hack will get rid of your chainsaw snoring almost overnight. So we're talking to snorers or people with sleep apnea.
Okay.
Look, if you're reading this, I can assure you are being held hostage, both by your partner, not even her fault, and by your poor sleep. And on top of that, now you feel helpless, not only because you haven't been able to rest, but also because your relationship is trembling. We'll talk about the purpose of a sales letter momentarily, things like that. But if you don't put a stop to it, your problems are just going to get bigger. It will feel like a snowball of tough stuff coming your way. And all of that just because you can't keep your mouth shut. In fact, if you stick around, you will learn how this amazing tool can help you and your partner experience restful nights once and for all. Listen, when I talk about keeping your mouth shut, I mean it. The problem right now is that you're breathing through your mouth in your sleep. You might not notice it, but your partner does. Trying to think. So there's a sort of medium issue that's going on here. I don't know if a sales letter is the best approach to this. It is, again, I need to remind you, tape. We are selling tape. Tape that goes on mouths. And so do we need 12 pages of copy, of problem solution copy, to sell tape when a demonstration and some reasons will do? This company has been blowing up.
Really?
Yeah. They've gotten extremely popular, and their stuff is scaling like mad. And they're doing it, I believe, mainly through Facebook ads. But ultimately, they don't need a whole lot of copy to sell $200 supplies of mouth tape. And so, as a marketer, the first question that I really have is, okay, they have a strategy that seems to be working. People go into this kind of already aware of the solution. You know, typically the solution for people that snore and that have sleep apnea is the CPAP. What this is offering to people is an alternative to that. Just tape your mouth shut, breathe through your nose, easy peasy. And one of the things that this is doing pretty well is it's selling people on the idea of just, hey, you know, you just need to train your body to breathe through your nose, and all of a sudden you'll get all these benefits. And there was actually even a book relatively recently that was extremely popular, best-selling book that was basically all about the problem that people encounter when they breathe through their mouth constantly. So that's all a thing. I read this and I go, do we need a lot of copy to overcome objections here? I really wonder.
No.
I don't think we do. Now, if somebody wants to test it as this person has, the question that I have is, okay, do we want to immediately reveal the mechanism, the thing that we're talking about on page 2? Because if we're going to spend all this time on page 2 talking about the problems associated with mouth breathing, aside from it making you seem like a mouth breather, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so let's pretend that you don't reveal it.
I mean, here's the thing. The implication here is that people who snore are not aware of the problem that they encounter, that is, that they are sleeping with their mouth open. But I'm pretty sure, I myself am a snorer, I'm pretty sure that most people who snore are aware that they have a problem with their mouth being open when they sleep. And so most of the people that get to this are already going to be pretty problem aware. So why is it necessary to sell them on this? I don't know if it is. Like, are you unaware that mouth breathing is a problem?
No.
Do you think anybody is unaware that mouth breathing is a problem?
There might be some people who don't know that they do it. And so like I don't usually snore. And so every time that I have snored, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh yeah, you're snoring so loud." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I don't snore. I'm not one of those people." But I was, and so I'm sure that, you know, if you sleep by yourself very often, or yada 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 yada, there may be some people for whom this is a problem they don't know they have. But even then, I don't know if approaching it this way is actually going to be particularly useful to them.
Yeah. So the person who wrote this, if you are watching this
Mhm.
right now or sometime in the future, I want you to think like strategically, like, is this the right approach? Am I approaching this correctly? Is the audience that I want to sell mouth tape to going to be needed to do you need to sell them on the fact that breathing through their mouth is bad? Now, if you were going for a more unaware audience, like people that are not familiar that they have this problem, the easiest way to do that is by starting off with a simple test. One very common trope in health sales letters is go to your pantry and do you see any of these foods in your pantry? If you see any of these foods in your pantry, then you might have a serious problem with X. And what that does is it forces people, not only it gets their attention, but also makes it very relatable as well. And then what does that allow us to do? Do you wake up with, wet pillows? Does your partner complain about your snoring? Does this and this? And then that can be your lead in to mouth breathing being the problem. The alternative there is by leaving it more veiled and revealing that mouth breathing is the problem more later, like down in the mechanism section, because you immediately go to take your mouth shut. And what you can do instead is spend a few pages actually talking about like some of the health problems that are plaguing people all around the world, and actually use that to, make the problem seem very relatable and very applicable. I just don't know if this is the right approach to this particular product. Okay. Because this is also assuming.
Yeah. I think you can use the shut your mouth angle even if you are much more direct in this, though.
Yeah.
Like if you just cut from the beginning to like the section where you start talking about hostage tape, you can have like one or two lines explaining,
Yeah.
We all know you have a problem with snoring.
Like I can almost like see this being like stripped down to like almost like a Facebook video ad.
Yeah.
Like opens up with like, for the sake of your partner, shut your mouth. Like that feels like it would be more powerful than in a sales page format. Can you fix this? Easy. Breathe through your nose. Why? Because your body is meant to do just that.
Is that true?
Is it true? If it was so easy, why aren't they doing it already?
Yeah.
There's a reason why in a lot of sales copy you'll see this common set of language. If you have this problem, it's not your fault. And then you can look up any possible reason why, mouth breathing has become more prevalent in society. But really what you want to do is absolve people of fault here and give them an out. Say like, listen, the deck was stacked against you all along. You can fix this by simply circumventing the problems, the obstacles that have been set in your way. And because that ultimately makes the solution seem, how should I say, more attractive in comparison. Because, hey, there's this roadblock. Hey, here's a solution that helps you get around the roadblock. It creates implicit desire there. So, look, when you breathe through your nose, the air is filtered, humidified, and warmed before it enters the lungs. Now you know what those tiny hairs in your nose are for. They're called cilia, by the way, so please don't be ripping them off.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah, cut that. On the other hand, when you mouth breathe, the air bypasses these natural filters, and it's not as efficiently processed before entering the lungs, again, causing those annoying conditions, implying that people are going to remember what you said a page ago. They won't. You need to train your body to breathe properly. How do you do that? Well, I can almost see this being a Facebook ad or like a lift. Like this is like several lifts to sell hostage tape.
They're good angles. It's just all together it doesn't really work.
It's not working together.
Yeah.
You need to train your body to breathe properly. How do you do that? Well, when you're awake, you're conscious about your actions. You are, right? So you just keep your mouth shut and your body will naturally breathe through your nose. But at night, when your subconscious takes control over you, what do you do to take that control back? Simple. You will literally hack your body if you tape your mouth shut.
It's not really a hack. You're coercing. You're taking your body hostage from yourself.
What does hack even mean anyway? Yeah, I would say that I don't think that this angle is appropriate, but I think that there's some good copy in here. It's just, let me put it this way. It's in the wrong space and it's in the wrong format.
Yeah. Which, we could have a conversation about why it's so important to think about what your copy actually needs to do, who needs to see it, and then only once you understand that, decide what medium you need to use to convey that message.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate to write a 12-page sales letter for something that you don't need 12 pages of copy to sell.
Yeah. The whole purpose of long copy is to overcome objections. A lot of objections. When people get to this, typically they've already had their objections overcome. They know they need to breathe through their nose when they sleep. And so this feels like an easy solution to breathe better and sleep better. Yeah. There you go. That's it. And this business is growing because they really don't need a whole lot of copy to sell what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could do some fun stuff with this, though. Like, I'm imagining, like Manscaped or Scaped or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
Like those style ads where you have, like, some hot chick taking her boyfriend hostage, taping his mouth over. Like, they'd be really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, have like, a face and a hand come up from like at the side, just slurp to like on the person's mouth. Just like, the new craze taking America.
Taking Americans hostage.
Taking Americans hostage. Shutting your mouth. Yeah, I don't feel like we need to. Let's take a look at the offer section. But I feel like one of the things too is like this is lacking golden thread. If you're going for like a longer piece of copy, you need some sort of like narrative hook that weaves through. And I saw you trying to do that a little bit with like, it saved my marriage or what have you, and leading off with your partner is going to blame you for lack of sleep or what have you. All that can be clarified and brought out a little bit more if you wanted to persist with the long copy angle. But if you go down, got rid of that awful snoring, but it'd be a completely different person, right? No snoring means you had a full night's sleep. No dry mouth equals no bad breath. Yeah. And then here you're overcoming objections. Yeah, honest to God, I would just make this more direct. I would go to the actual pages. Here. And I would like basically, this is the book that I was talking about, Breathe by James Nestor. Here, this seems dangerous. Is this really for me? Yeah, the homepage is already overcoming all these objections, and it's just handling it very, very quickly, very, very easily. Why call it hostage tape? Yeah, they thought of everything already. And so you have to ask yourself, like, is what you're doing here, is it going to overcome objections better than what they've already done? Yeah. In case of an emergency. Let me tell you this. It is the strongest mouth tape on the planet. Yeah. Good testimonials on the site. Again, there's a lot of good copy here. It's what is at issue here is less of a writing thing and more of a strategic thing. Mm-hmm. Is this the right approach?
Yeah, like this too, where it's like it's time sensitive because it's all twice this year, but it's basically it's an e-com product that will be back eventually. So like, how strongly are people actually going to feel that urgency?
Yeah. This, by the way, all few remaining people that are watching, this is a really good offer stack. Basically, having these three options, we've tested the crap out of that, and it's pretty good. So like, for example, you have an offer that's just clearly bad. One-time hostage tape, 30 tapes, 83 cents per day, $25. Okay. That's great. This is meant to feel like the best possible deal. Usually what people do is they go for the middle option or for the best option. And then you have, this is called a dummy offer, as in only a dummy would take this offer. And you do that because it makes these two seem so much better. One thing that I've seen people do is that instead of year $199, quarterly $55, one time $45, even more expensive, makes these look way cheaper in comparison. A much better deal. One last thing. Today, you get the 1 year supply of hostage tape. You will get a free month of our new hostage nose strips. Ooh, I like any sort of bonus offer. It's very good. That way, not only will you be optimizing your soup, you'll be sleep maxing.
That should go before the offer, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This should come up around here, possibly. I've seen other pages that do have like a sort of like gimme, like, oh, P.S. I forgot to mention, I'm going to include this bonus, and that's just to get the people, the tire kickers, the people that are still on the fence, to get them to come over. But if you're going to throw in a free bonus, like, include that in your offer. Yeah. But wait, there's more. You can never go wrong with but wait, there's more.
Unless there's not more.
Unless there's not more, in which case you could go very wrong. Okay. Why do so many copywriters live in Florida? Because there are a number of direct response businesses that are situated there. That you can ask the same thing about Baltimore. There are a lot of copywriters here too. There are also a lot of copywriters in Chicago and New York. That's because there are agencies and businesses there that hire copywriters.
It's true.
Yeah. So I think we've talked about the hostage tape sales page. We have 2 left. Boxing sales letter. Okay.
So, boxing sales letter, problem-aware audience. They're unsatisfied with their progress and want to improve faster. I guess the target person is a boxing enthusiast who wants to see faster results. Headline: have your coaches ask you for boxing advice. The USP is boxing advice attained from studying the greats. Benefits: drastically increases dodging and striking skills. Well, we shouldn't read these now, right?
Yeah. Let's go into the actual copy.
Whatever counter. Okay. Yeah, because this should be clear to us as we read through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have your coaches ask you for boxing advice. How much better do you think you would be if you could 10x your boxing progress? What if instead of getting knocked around like a beginner, you could come back in a month and knock everyone back on their asses and become the number one in your gym? What if you improve so quickly, your coaches ask you how you improve so quick? Boxing is fun. There's always a little satisfaction in bonking people in the head or dodging a punch. But more than that, there's an unquenchable satisfaction found in progress.
I want to time out for a quick second. Anybody watching right now, all 13 people, do any of you box? Do any of you actually like go into a gym, a boxing gym?
Do you find satisfaction in bonking people in the head?
Really quick, if anybody has ever boxed before, in the comments, would you mind letting us know, like, do these problems exist or have they ever existed for you? Like, have you ever felt this, a desire for this? Have you ever wanted to go back and do this? While we're waiting, we won't wait silently.
These don't read as super real to me, or they're kind of strangely phrased. I'm not a boxer.
Okay.
But okay, great.
I do boxing at home, and the answer is no.
Great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Now, what if you improve so quick? Your coach asks you how you improve so quick. So here's the thing. I've been to boxing gyms before. I've never sparred, and I don't want to, but I've been to a boxing gym. the objections that I have to boxing when it comes to fitness, like you have different layers. And so if this is a sales letter that's geared towards like people that are good enough at boxing to be sparring on a regular basis, I don't know if they encounter these particular issues or feel or want these particular things. I don't think that's a particular issue that they have. Every boxer wants to be able to, hit as hard as Tyson. Every boxer wants to be able to duck and weave as well as Mayweather. Like, every boxer wants to have some sort of solution to the cauliflower ear. Like, these are just things. And so one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that when you have to be careful when you're framing a letter like this, that you're actually speaking to the desires, the notions, the beliefs, the identities that people want. And I don't know if this is it. So I think you were right here.
Yeah. Nothing feels better when you can punch how you could only imagine you could a couple months ago, or beat someone who would consistently whoop you. But progress is slow in boxing, very slow. Even after spending months toiling away and pushing yourself in the art, most people would still consider you a beginner. You want to tell people you are a boxer, but even a couple months in, you have little to show for it. You may have better form than the average Joe, but most people in your boxing gym will likely humble you as soon as you start building a bit of an ego. So you train and train with improvements coming, but only at a snail's pace. If you keep going like that, you'll never catch up to the people around you. As long as your progress is slow, you are just going to be kept in the dust, unable to catch up. But there is a way to avoid this dilemma, and the answer is extremely simple. Speed your progress up a lot. How? If you want to improve faster than everyone else, you have to do what everyone else isn't doing. You have to learn what everyone else isn't learning. And you have to know what those who improve the quickest knew. Luckily, there's an opportunity that fits all of those criteria. It utilizes the secrets of boxing greats and legends who were some of the quickest boxers to improve. Imagine how swift and nimble your footwork would be if you knew the secret of Muhammad Ali, or how powerful and devastating your punches would be if you knew the secrets of Mike Tyson. Well, through analysis of those two and countless other greats, we found some of the greatest secrets that propelled their growth and can very well propel yours as well.
Time out. Rule of threes. If you're going to give examples, give 3 of them at least. 3, 5, 7 have some sort of special cognitive significance to the human mind. So, rule of 3, always give 3 examples. Right now this feels like the only 2 boxers you could name, and so that's what you name them. Which, by the way, is actually what I did earlier with Mayweather and Tyson. That's it. That was the extent of my boxing knowledge. And so I don't think this is working.
Nope.
So well.
So why is this not working? So we scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little further. So you're talking about, the framing is have your coaches asking you for boxing advice. If you're going to come in with that, I think what it seems like you're trying to do is capitalize on this improve so quickly by focusing on these secret techniques of these other people who improve quickly. Okay, cool. If that's the case, like very little of this lead up is really building into that. I think the problems you're trying to highlight that and like kind of dig in on to make people feel those pain points are not things that people who want what you're offering are going to be feeling. And so it feels kind of hollow.
It lacks emotionality.
Yeah.
It lacks a punch.
But
so the problem with a lot of this copy is that if you want to box, if you're a boxer and you're just not doing it for fitness and to stay lean and stuff like that, if you want to box, like actually compete as a boxer or spar as a boxer, you got to speak to their actual aspirations. Like, 10x your boxing progress, get the fuck out of here. But if you instead talk about, the people in the ring like shouting your name. You talk about the trophies. You talk about, even something as simple as like your sparring partner ass down on the mat going, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Evoke images in people's minds. Evoke an image of themselves after they have successfully utilized your product. That's how you want to open this. Don't speak abstractly to people's brains. But the problem with boxing is that progress is slow. It's very slow, even after spending months toiling away. No. You want to give people a pathway to success. And you do that by first giving them an image of what success looks like for them.
Yeah. And here's some writing advice that most people will probably overgeneralize and like ruin, but might be helpful to you, one person out there who hears this the right way. The problem with stuff like there's always a little satisfaction in bonking people in the head or dodging a punch. These are things that actually probably do feel good, but they get blown through so quickly in the copy that there is no actual opportunity for the reader to imagine and revel in that feeling. You need to give people the opportunity to linger in the experiences that you're describing and trying to evoke within them, so that when you are talking about like, oh yeah, it feels so good to like slap somebody upside the face or, land a solid punch, that person can actually think, oh yeah, it felt so good the last time I did that. I wish I could do it more. What if I could do that more? What if every time I got in the ring, I got to land that punch? Like, how good would that feel? How good would it feel if I had that one dodge where I felt like the fastest man alive? Like, give them the opportunity to marinate in that.
Yeah. That's just a page space and like taking the time to evoke. You lose a lot of that by just having very long, big paragraphs with a lot of abstractions and, so you train with improvements coming, but only at a snail's pace. That doesn't feel, I don't feel that language. And so part of writing good copy, especially in this sort of medium, is creating words that evoke, really powerful imagery.
Yeah.
And so that's something that you would want to do. Again, like I do question, like, is this the right medium for this particular thing? But at the same time, like, I think there's a lot of opportunities for just like, for example, like Tools of the Titans, by Tim Ferriss. There's a demand for these kinds of products, like products that synthesize or aggregate or combine like the tactics or tools or methodologies that very successful people have used to be successful. People want that. And, like look at the masterclass ads, like the Werner Herzog did one on filmmaking. A bunch of people did stuff on various things. And go study that kind of copy. Go study the way that those things were marketed and bring that back to this, because what you'll find is that the copy for those things is way less logical and way more emotional. And also, it's also often not very long. A person who wants to improve at boxing doesn't need a whole lot of convincing to get something that will improve their boxing. They just want to know if it will actually work. And so demonstrations are really good for that. Testimonials, social proof is really good for that. Case studies are really good for that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you. Have a good night. Take care. Do you have anything else that you want to say about this?
I don't think so. I will +1 your comment about kind of saying fuck you to the logic of these sorts of pieces.
Yeah.
What you need is emotional buy-in, and people will sell to themselves.
Yeah. I think that's the key too. Like, this is going to sound harsh, but it's true. Most of the people, here's the thing. Once you have evoked aspiration. Then you want to explain the mechanism, and there you get a little bit more logical, and things should get more logical as people have bought in more and more to the idea that you're trying to sell. Mm-hmm. Once you're getting into like, this is what you get with this product, this is what you'll see, etc. Things can be very feature-based. Things can be very logical towards the end of a sales letter. So that's all stuff that you want to keep in mind. But like towards the beginning, when you're trying to evoke like what people actually want and show that you have a product that is attached to a thing they truly desire in the heart of hearts, you know, there you go. So yeah, this just isn't working for me.
Yeah.
But one thing, I was going to say something else before I brought up that comment. I forget. Yeah, there's just
take your time with this.
Yeah.
This is like, it feels very, very rushed.
I want to pull up a sales letter for something else. Drive. Burn. Do I have this copy? No. Here. Right. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a sales letter. It is, as you can see, 35 pages long. So it's longer than anything that we've looked at. But this sold extremely well. Look at this. Headline, how an embarrassing high school reunion drove Shelley to the 4 words that helped her dissolve 48 pounds. Here are the 4 words. Fat burning reset switch. And then I need to, I don't know why that did that. Okay. I'm going to zoom out. All right. And she easily lost 48 pounds of disgusting fat. So, hi, my name is Shelley Pruitt. In the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to share an embarrassing, devastatingly true story about my 15th high school reunion. What happened that day is burned into my memory. This is a story. Notice how emotional the language is. What happened that day is burned into my memory. If I live to be 100, I'll never forget it, because that was the day I finally faced the fact that I was 48 pounds overweight and that everyone but me could see it.
Damn.
Sure, I can admit now that my chunkiness was quite obvious. The loose fat hanging off my arms jiggled when I walked. My rolls of disgusting belly fat looked like a can of biscuits burst open. My neck smothered in doughy fat, but I had been in denial about it, and I wanted to keep it that way. But that night forced my eyes wide open. I had to face the truth. What is going on here? Okay, from the headline, I want to know what this fat burning reset switch is. And also, by the time I read the beginning of this lead, I want to know what happened that night. The lead sells me on reading the rest of the sales letter, not the product. The lead, the goal of the lead is to get me to buy into learning more about this. And by the end of this, holy Schmidt, do I want to? I want to, and especially if you're an obese person who's embarrassed by the way that they look, oh my God. Within a shorter amount of page space than any of the previous sales letters or sales pages that we've seen, we've evoked way more imagery, way more emotional power. How crazy is that? It's like, I don't want to say it's good because it's bad, but it's so good.
Are these your notes on here?
Yeah.
I'm just, goddamn.
Goddamn. My jeans pinched my thighs and cut into my waist so deeply that I had to unzip them when I sat down, and it was a workout just trying to pull my dresses down over my hips. These were clothes I had bought just a year before. Okay, now we're going to do something a little advanced. This doesn't always work. It might not work while I do it live. But now that it's 3 hours in and I've scared away all the people that don't have the patience for this, we're going to do it. Okay. Hi, my name is Sean McIntyre. In the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to share an embarrassing, devastatingly true story about when I was completely knocked out at my local boxing gym. What happened at my local boxing gym is burned into my memory. If I almost gave up boxing the very day that this happened, because this was the day that I finally faced the fact that I couldn't dodge, I couldn't punch, and I was the laughingstock of my entire gym. Sure, I can admit now that my incompetence in the ring was obvious. My punches being broadcast to my opponent from 10 miles away, the impact of my hits, feeling like a feather against, my sparring partner's face, getting hit by even the slowest jabs that my opponent was throwing.
Your footwork makes Shaq look like a ballerina.
Yeah, my footwork making Shaq looking like a ballerina. That might be a little bit too much. Notice how there's no like references in all of this. But I had been in denial about all of it, and I kept going to the gym thinking that these problems would go away. But that day at the gym forced my eyes open. I had to face the truth. Notice what I'm doing there. All 15 people that are watching. I just turned this almost line by line, word for word, into a sales letter for this. Ta-da! I just did a copywriting. That's one way to use a swipe file. And listen, you're going to have to change some stuff. You're going to have to change the arc of language. You're going to have to change the paragraphs. You're going to have to change the format, the wording, etc., to make it work for a different idea. But ultimately, what you're trying to do here can very easily apply to what you're doing here. Make somebody feel embarrassed about being bad at boxing. That would work better than this. And that's something, that is a way, and one of the reasons, that's a way to use a swipe file, and that's one of the reasons why you want to collect as many different types of copy as possible. Somebody who is writing for fitness, if I gave them the advice, go read a bunch of health and fat loss sales letters, they'd probably be like, this doesn't apply to what I'm trying to do. I want to write for boxing. I want to talk to men who do manly things, like kiss their homies on the mouth goodnight. That's how you end up with this. But I just showed you how you can interpret and how you can adapt this kind of copy into this. And so that's what I would want to recommend to all the people that have managed to make it this far and that are actually watching at this particular point. Look for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to emotionally evoke a response, embarrassment, pride, disappointment, etc., to craft a problem, look for other sales letters that do it well, and then see how you can adapt the way that they did it to what you are trying to do. And if you do that, well, guess what? This person has already solved this problem. They've already cracked it. They've already figured out how to write emotionally about this topic. Use their knowledge to your advantage, and then change the words and change the structure, change and adapt it to what you're doing so that you're not plagiarizing. But use the structure, use the idea, use the framing so that you can take advantage of what was successful before.
Yeah.
I feel like that was helpful.
That was very good.
This is the last piece of copy that we are going to review tonight. It's Colorado again. My voice is almost completely dead.
I got it. All right, brain luxury emails. Context. We have a store that sells supplements. There's one to improve sleep. I found out about this company in a Facebook ad that leads to the product page. Then there is an option to put my email, receive discounts, supplements are natural. My main idea is that people don't want to stop doing what they're doing. Most hardworking people don't want to sacrifice hours of work to work better. So have the benefits of good sleep without the need to sleep more. Same thing as Logsec one. I don't know exactly what's wrong, but there is something wrong. All right, so we have spec piece. Looks like email driving to a product page, probably sent after the prospect is inactive for a while. So let's imagine that they went to this company's website and just clicked the email sign up, so they don't know shit. Okay, so subject line: you wish you could do more with less? This is for you. There's one difference between the ones making no effort to stay motivated and focused 24/7 and others that, despite all effort, can't keep up with them. Better sleep. Not longer sleep. Forget the 8+ hours rule. chances are, even if you are sleeping that much every night, you are still stuck into the surface stage, the most common cause for unfocus and anxiety during the day. People then hear about the 8+ hours myth and start to squeeze in hours of extra sleep, ending up more tired and unproductive. The answer is in the quality of your sleep. Improving it often leads you to sleeping less, but making more out of it. That's why Delta's our bestseller. Delta preside, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Click the link to enjoy the special discount for you. Okay. We scroll down a little more, just to the shorter email. This one. He's stopped fooling around. Okay, let's go to the top. This is interesting. You actually have some good material here, but you need to like move everything around. So
I once had a writing teacher who once said this to me. Everything that you've written is really good. It just has all of the wrong words. So replace all the words that you have and then just keep the same thing and it will be good.
Okay. Yes, and you can keep some of these words. So not all of the words are wrong. Your subject line is not good. So the problem here is that like, and this was the same.
Vague.
Yeah, one, it's vague, but this is a similar thing with the Logitech, whatever.
Logsec.
Thank you. One where it's like you're trying to do too much. You understand about your audience that they have all these issues with like productivity and they want to be good at this, they want to be good at that, and so you try to speak to all those things, and in doing so, it dilutes the points you're making because you are talking about 5,000 things at once. Focus on one, rule of one thing only. That's the first thing. You actually do something really interesting and I think cool when you talk about better sleep as opposed to longer sleep. And you could do something really cool starting off this email or incorporate it into your subject line, something about not like fuck the 8-hour rule. Or forget about the 8+ hour rule.
Don't swear in your copy.
Don't swear in your copy.
Don't swear in your YouTube videos. Don't swear in your copy. Don't swear ever.
You can bleep it though. You can asterisk at # $sign your copy.
That's true.
But yeah, you could say, forget the 8-hour sleep rule, or the 8-hour sleep rule is wrong, and then go into how sleeping 8 hours is not the boon you think it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of the copy here about the myths of 8-hour sleep and people try to sleep more and they end up more unproductive. That's really cool. But remember that what you're doing this is trying to build intrigue, and that ultimately all you really want is a click onto the product page because that's what this is for. You're driving.
Yeah.
So don't tell them what this is. You can tease and lead to the solution being to sleep better, not longer, but don't get into the product.
Yeah. I've seen some long emails actually do get into the product, and it sells relatively well. That's why every list is different, and everybody's going to respond to different things. You're going to have people who are going to respond to like, oh, we're selling a product. I'm interested to learn more. Then you're going to have people on your list who are like, you're selling a product. How dare you try to sell me something? How dare you mention that you have, oh God, patreon.com/thecopy.show, where people can sign up and pay $20 and get their copy reviewed by us. And unfortunately take long pauses to think about what they're trying to say. Sometimes this works. Doesn't always work. And so you got to test different angles. You got to test different emails. I know one copywriter who, whenever he releases a promo, he writes 5 emails. And they're of varying degree, like different angles, different things. The first one that he always tests is super direct. Hey, this is a thing. This is the big idea. I just created a product related to that. Here you go. So right out the gate, first thing he does is try to get all the people that already like kind of want the product and just need a reason to buy. Your most aware audience. He goes after them first. Gets them out of the way. Because guess what? That email, that angle, it's not going to work again. The people that want to buy, that just want a reason to buy, they're going to buy quick. And so you're not going to be able to reach them again. So you might as well just get that out of the way if you're going to be testing to a list, and then focus on more indirect approaches after that, unless you have a constant influx of people being added to your list. Okay. So that's that. As far as direct lifts go, I think the big problem for me is, like with what Rod was saying, is it lacks intrigue. It lacks intrigue. Like, you're explaining this to me.
Yeah.
You're not sort of evoking the problem that I have. You're just explaining how sleep works. Now, here's an alternative. Have you noticed that there are people that are tired no matter how much they sleep? In fact, you might be one of those people. Now, would you be surprised to know that there are people that are focused and motivated 24/7 after only getting 7, 6, sometimes even only 5 hours of sleep? Have you ever wondered what the difference between them and you happens to be? Well, scientists have actually solved this problem. ... They've discovered that there are different types of sleep, and not everybody gets the same type of sleep. Do you see where I'm kind of going with this? Like, we're trying to steadily add intrigue layer by layer by layer.
Mhm.
And by the time you get to the end of that layering of intrigue, it allows you to, how should I say, really pivot hard either into revealing the product or revealing, like, there is a solution if you are the type of person that feels tired, groggy, unmotivated all day and wants a solution. All you need to do is click here and we'll tell you all about it. Alternatively, you can reveal a little bit about the product. You have the choice there. And those are two different things you can test.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to say about this?
I don't think so. Do you want? Will you scroll down to the bottom one? Oh, sorry, there's this one. Probably just gonna see stuff around. Again, with this one, you have to be really careful about being super generic.
Yeah.
If the person got onto this list because they were on your Brain Luxury website, they probably are, the shiny productivity techniques they're talking about probably include some of your products.
Mhm.
And so, again, be careful.
Yeah. It's always a tightrope walk. You want to build. I use this analogy frequently, but intrigue is like a kilt. You want it to be. You want the amount of copy to be long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep it interesting.
Mm.
The thing is, right now, what is on display below that kilt, it's not super interesting. By the way, I used to use skirt for this analogy until I realized that was incredibly sexist. And so apparently it's not sexism as long as you're targeting it at men. So yeah, there you go. Problem solved.
Question.
We have a question. Love your channel. I love you. Been watching your videos all day. Get a hobby. Go touch grass. I'm new to copywriting, and I've just got one question about it. Is payment based on commission or a fixed price? Keep up the good work. It depends.
Yeah.
Some people earn a salary. Some people earn a salary plus bonuses. Some people are, if they're freelance, they can get paid a retainer. That is a regular weekly or monthly fee, and it's flat. They can get paid per gig. Some people, depending upon the type of copy they write, can get paid a commission on top of whatever their flat fee is. Like, for example, I've been hired for a product before where I got paid $5,000 down to start a project, $5,000 on delivery and acceptance of the project, and then a 3.5% commission on net sales. That's a deal that I got in the past.
Yeah.
And so all things are possible as you work up, but especially early on in your career, in all likelihood, you're going to be getting flat fees.
Yeah. I think particularly as a freelancer, the most common thing is just be fixed price. And the next most common thing will probably be, if you work with someone consistently, that may change into a retainer type deal where they just pay you X amount of dollars per month to handle their various projects.
Yep. Yeah. I think that was a critique stream.
That was a stream.
We did it. I think we might have done it. Guys, does anybody have any questions or anything else that they want us to talk about or discuss with you? Here, I know exactly what we need to be doing right now. Okay. Hold on. Share screen. I'm going to blow your mind right now. This is going to turn into a reaction video now. G.I. Joe, PSA, computer. I can't believe you've never seen these.
Oh. That was magical. Have you heard of an anime called Ghost Stories?
I've not.
Okay. They did a similar thing where it was like so like random show where very low budget back in the 90s this stuff happened.
Yeah.
And I think there was something with like the rights to the show, and so the project got like the owner to the thing kind of scrapped and said we don't really care about this anymore. And so the dubbing studio was like, okay, fine, you guys just do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
And they produced possibly the funniest dub of all time. We cannot watch it on stream, but it is very, very funny. It's on YouTube.
I will check it out.
Okay.
So in answer to your question, Beach Life, yes, I did buy Kyle a beer. In fact, after we ended the stream, we walked to a local bar called the Auto Bar, and I bought him a beer there. And so actually, I bought him a cocktail. So thank you very much for your donation. It did get passed on to Kyle, so I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, we don't hear it. Hold on. Let me change settings. Audio. Speaker. Oh, man. Is there no way to actually show the audio for this?
It should. That's the speaker for us.
Yeah.
It would have to do something with like the presenting function, I think.
Okay.
Video file slides.
Man, I really hope that the actual sound goes through. That would suck.
You can post it, the link in chat, worst case scenario.
Okay. Here. If you want actual sound, there's the link. Oh, God. And hold on. We're watching the thing, but we're not actually showing the thing. Okay, pork chop sandwiches. Wonder if it's going to come through on the actual...
What?
Oh my goodness. There's like 30 of these.
That's so many. I need them all.
This was made in like, I don't know, the late 90s, early aughts. Like this is from the era of like all your base are belong to us and Techno Viking. That's how all of these memes are. Jeez Louise. Well, we've officially become a reaction channel. I don't know if the sound is able to go through, though. That's really disappointing.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. I think we're going to end the stream there and get some work done and go eat some dinner and go hang out with people. Guys, it was really nice reading your copy and reviewing it and taking very long pauses. Bye.